Hey guys, your host, April here. I had so much fun recording this episode. I hope that this is something that all of you enjoy as well. I did want to let you know that there was some technical difficulties and the sound at times is not up to what I'm normally, and hopefully you guys are normally accustomed to, but I just wanted to let you know that it's not the best, but it works. So again, I hope you guys enjoy this, and please let me know if you have any questions, and thank you so much. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an online platform that helps you find a therapist that will match your needs. BetterHelp offers live video chats, open discussion, conversations with real therapists in real time if that's what you need. I personally love it and have used it now for almost 2 years. I would really recommend, if you need someone to talk to that is not in your family or your friend circle, that you reach out to betterhelp.com and you will receive 10% off if you use my code BGP. So again, that's betterhelp.com/BGP to find the right online counselor for you. Hi, welcome to Big Girl Pants Podcast, where we talk about health, wellness, careers, parenting, relationships, and everything in between. I am your host, April Melton. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Okay, so welcome back to Big Girl Pants Podcast. This is a very busy episode, and also an episode unlike anything I've ever done before. This is, I'm not really sure what I'm going to call it yet, but this is going to be like not a boys versus girls. Also, we're all like not girls anymore. Let's be real. But
good old days are gone.
Maybe a educated and heated discussion about the women's perspective versus the man's perspective. And I will go around and introduce everyone. I think I have assembled an elite panel for opinions and thoughts.
The Relationship Avengers.
Experts.
This is a master class on relationships.
Oh, this is a master class for sure.
We all don't know what we're doing.
But yeah, so I'll start, obviously. I'm April Melton. I am the host of Big Girl Pants Podcast, and everybody in this room is someone that has both either been my friend, a previous guest, a new guest, or someone whose opinion I take very seriously and very highly. So with that being said, we can start with my guest to the right, Crystal. Crystal, would you like to tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Crystal. I am an assistant in a large corporation, and I am recently divorced and have been separated prior to that for about 2 years. So I've been kind of on the dating scene for about a year now.
Crystal's also 21, so just in
wish.
case you were curious.
She just turned 21.
I wish. I'm
Yesterday.
Yes,
more
happy
like
birthday.
pushing 50.
Yeah.
Well, there's a
Okay, and I'm April Melton, and this will be a little bit of a bomb, but I am going through my second divorce. I just moved out of my home yesterday. I work in sales. I have 2 children, and yeah. Is that it? Is that it? Do I need to add some more? I'm a podcaster. What else? And then we have Mary.
Yeah, I'm Mary Robb. I'm a creative entrepreneur. I have a social media agency and a podcast.
Yeah.
Which is so fun. I've been dating for about 3.5 years. I was engaged with someone for 6 years and have learned a lot about dating.
Yay! Especially in
So fun.
Dallas. Yay! Okay, and then we have Benjamin, which if anyone has listened to this before, they know who Ben is, but Ben, you can introduce yourself for the newbies.
My name's Ben. I'm in real estate consulting, formerly married and divorced, now in a very happy relationship, and the only person in the panel to ever actually date April.
Ooh,
Oh, wow. That came out of nowhere.
Wait a minute. We went on one date, Benjamin.
Yeah, we dated one time.
One date.
The other one
They
didn't
were
count.
dating for about 12 hours.
Of 4. Okay,
About
and then
7 pool games.
The other one didn't count.
and then Herbad.
Yes, my name is Herbad Bigvan. I'm a tech entrepreneur and soon planning to be a politician. Yes. Yeah.
Bomb, bro. We both dropping bombs on
It
this
is.
episode.
I love
All right.
politics so much. That is next, and very excited to see.
I feel like that's like.
We should just talk about
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that too. Let's talk about let's talk about all the good stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
And for anyone who's listening, you have heard Herbod come on the podcast twice. Once back in I think it was the same year that you came the first time. So 2018
So many years.
or 19.
It was 2018, yeah.
And then you came back in 2021.
2021.
Yes.
Then I moved to
welcome back.
California.
Yeah, and
then
now
I'm
you're back.
back.
Okay.
But soon I'll be gone.
Last but not least, this is a very special guest to me. Dennis has been a very good friend and someone who has been an emotional support animal
Literally.
during this my recent time of transition, and I really appreciate you not only coming onto the podcast, but being my friend and helping me. Dennis introduced me to my now current therapist, who has basically changed my life, and
She does that.
I am extremely grateful for that. So, Dennis, please tell everyone about yourself.
Dennis Larson. I'm in sales, and I'm.
He's a director of sales. He just got a new job.
Yeah, sorry. But it's like caffeine powder, so it's, no,
Don't minimize.
what am I now? Like, it's been a year coming out of a 7-year relationship that I was not married in.
But you were essentially common law married. You had a home together.
Home,
You purchased a home together.
dogs.
You had dogs.
Yep,
You were on the path.
we were on the path
Right.
to have a baby and
Right.
a whole 9 yards, and I threw a hand grenade in that.
I blew it up.
Just blew it up.
How long ago was that?
June 1st last year, it all came crumbling down.
Wow, so like a year ago.
Yeah, literally June 1st was
Wow.
the day it all kind of came crumbling down.
Sweet.
And
So like a year from now, we can come back and we can talk about my
Yeah.
1 year from now.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
I know.
great.
I actually can't wait till Erica hears this and I get a text message.
Really?
Saying like, why are you talking about dating? You weren't supposed to be dating. And I'll be like, oh yeah, my bad.
No, but I don't. Well, I don't mean. I don't.
It's personal now.
Yeah, we're not sending it to her.
I think that the difference too in this episode is not necessarily just talking about dating, but your experience with the opposite sex. It doesn't have to be current.
Oh.
It can be previous. It can be future. Like it doesn't have to be right now.
Okay.
Okay. But yes. So with that being said, thank you, Dennis, for that. For that prompt, for the assist. On this episode, I want to discuss like the female experience versus the male experience, whether that's in dating, divorce, relationships, unrealistic expectations, psychology, relationship dynamics, everything. For the first topic, I think you sent me a question on WhatsApp, and you were like, we should talk about this tomorrow.
Oh, that was just like a talking point that I thought of that could lead to.
I know, but what was that? Like what? I don't remember which one it was. But
Are
anyway,
there more good women or good men in the
that
dating
one. Okay, we're gonna
marketplace?
start there. We're gonna start there, and because there's so many people on here, we have to be very mindful of like speaking over each other. And I know that maybe some people might sound similar to others. Like if somebody's listening to this versus watching. So like you don't necessarily have to, because everybody's voices are pretty different. You don't have to like say your name like me, Dennis. I feel this way.
We can't raise our hand.
But just you can raise your hand. You can absolutely raise your hand. Just be very mindful of when someone else is talking and answering or whatever. With that being said, Benjamin, I think I would like to start with you. Do you think that there are more good men or more good women in the dating scene right now? As someone who just recently got in a relationship.
I would say in the dating scene, I think that there are more good women. Like women's incomes, education, careers are all on the rise. And so I think women are outpacing men in so many different categories. So I think long-term dating and finding a mate is more difficult for women than it is for men in the current dating pool.
Oh, okay. Crystal, how do you feel about that?
I absolutely agree. I think
I support everything he says. Yes.
with the rise of all of the things that have been mentioned for women, I think women are becoming more educated, but they're also becoming more aware of who they are and what they want. And I think that there's a lot of kind of erroneous things that go on with dating, whether it be people saying they want a long-term relationship and then getting sexy right off the bat, those types of things where, you have to kind of filter through all that, and men are not as forthcoming with those types of things and
In
being
your
really
experience, men are not as forthcoming
in my
with that information.
experience,
Okay, that's fair, yeah.
yes. So, there's a lot of weeding out going on.
Interesting. Mary, how do you feel about that?
Oh, that's so interesting. When you first asked the question, I was like, I don't know. I kind of feel like on both sides, like we both have our own shenanigans going on. But at the same time, I agree with what Ben said. I think it's we're living in a very unique time. For the first time ever, women have more rights, more knowledge, more power than ever before. And I think we're just trying to figure out how we can still be in a relationship and preserve the masculine and the feminine energy in a healthy way. And we're both going to have to learn, though, what our presence needs to look like in a relationship, considering we're both going to be able to bring more to this world than ever before.
Yeah, and
it's tricky.
And I hate the phrase like what you're bringing to the table, but like let's just say you're two complete, or you're two halves of the complete equation, right? Like because if we're both working, we're both making money, we're both cooking, we're both cleaning, we're both contributing equally. Like, how do you figure that dynamic out? What do you think, Dennis?
Actually, Mary kind of took exactly what I was going to say. Was
what a bitch.
Yeah. No, but as I think as a person who was raised around a lot of women, my mom being a high level basketball, soccer, softball coach, I was always brought up that women are equal. And obviously, as I got older, I realized, okay, there is more of a struggle. But men are struggling more with, as women have gotten better, I think women have put our need as having a masculine buildup has gotten pushed back.
Yeah.
Because you've had your own stuff to work on. So we struggle with having that, hey, am I doing a good job as a man? And I know that has been my biggest thing is I want somebody who's also going to build me up and tell me that I'm doing those things because that is in our DNA. It's goes back to the caveman.
Say more about that.
The software's still caveman. We are still hunter-gatherer, and I hate saying that, but yes, it's great. The way it's set up, we all need to contribute. You can't do this on your own anymore. It's not the 50s where the guy comes home with the tie on, the briefcase, and the wife's been home. I'm not saying that, but it's we need to know that we're doing a good job. We need to know we're doing the right thing. We're providing in our own special way while you're providing. And we have to do better at that too. We can't, but I'm also a person who always believes that the money you make or whatever, I have no problem dating somebody who's makes way more than me, who's been to college and I haven't been to college. I am totally competent with that, where I know a lot of men would be like, they still have that old mindset, especially down here. I'm originally from New Jersey, where it was very common. Down here, I still think they're one generation behind. They're getting there.
For sure.
Not to stereotype where I love living, but I just think that as women have stepped out and done that, which is great, they have their thing that they've lost is building us back up.
So
and
the balance.
The balance, yeah. And that's a big balance. And that really hurts us. I mean, I can tell you from my previous relationship, that was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Was the word emasculated is very, it's hard on us. It's not in our code.
In what area? Yeah.
Can I piggyback on that?
Yeah, just one second. In what areas, though? So I know you're saying...
I think being successful. I think just an overall success. My big thing is if other men are noticing it, the person you're with should be the one, your biggest cheerleader.
Saying your friends or colleagues would praise you for your success.
Absolutely.
But your partner wasn't.
If you're putting in, and again, as we've gotten older, it's, holding it together and, everything from your physical appearance to the whole 9 yards. And we need to hear that too.
In all aspects.
In all aspects. Yeah. You get a better job. Hey, that should be when your significant other takes you out to that dinner and congratulates you on that. Or, it's we're doing that too. And it's just, I think a lot of women have lost that. And
I think it's
on a natural level.
I think with gender roles, we've noticed that gender roles have been shifting for the last 30 to 40 years, right? And I think women are used to getting the support. April and I were talking about this. You guys have had to fight for a lot of things that you now have. But what he was talking about earlier is we have 100,000 years of genetics and coding and programming that hasn't gone away. And I think as society started to become more equal and egalitarian, which is perfect, right? That's where we want it to be. It's almost like we're still trying to deny some just hardcore programming things.
Yeah, biology.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't have to go kill a woolly mammoth right now.
Exactly.
But our job is to protect you.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a weird thing. I still will go out and want to see the door. Like there is a
most men.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
protective level. Like it's like when you're walking around.
Good
like
men.
yeah, like I recently went out with somebody and they said, "Wow, you are the first guy I've dated where I walk. You're constantly putting me back on the inside of the sidewalk. You're
Now you are going to be grounded because you just told Erica you went on a date. Good fucking job. And you're fired. Herbod, what do you think?
This is so interesting. It has all sides of into it. I think overall in society, men go through so much more work than a woman does. Man has to build himself up. Being a girl, you just look pretty, and that is now your value is 10. Literally go ask every girl. Be like, oh, what's your value? Oh, I'm top of the world. I'm 10 out of 10.
Okay.
You cannot be any better than me.
So you're saying like women there. And first, I want to say English is your what? Which language? First, second, third?
This is my second language.
Second language. Herbod is from Iran.
Yes.
Okay. And you learned English when?
When I came to America in a few months.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So about how many years ago?
It's now 12 years ago.
12 years ago. So just keep that in mind when Herbod speaks because I can understand you and I love you and I've talked to you before. So
course.
I'm not concerned about the things that you're saying. I want to make sure that you're not being
English is
misinterpreted.
fantastic.
I know, but I want to make sure you're not being misinterpreted. By
No,
the
of
things you're
course,
saying.
of
Okay.
course. It's in general, I feel like men's have it way much harder.
Okay.
The society tries to sugarcoat it. Oh, it's very equal. But in reality, only a man knows how hard is it himself to build himself
And
up.
just for everyone listening who's not watching, all the men just shook their head. Okay, there was a
Yeah,
very heavy
I mean,
head nod.
But it's
Heavy head nod
because it's the cancel culture, because you have to be on the other side. But in reality is men's have it a million times harder. Men's have to build themselves up. A man's value only comes from working hard. A man cannot walk out there and be like, oh, I'm 10 out of 10. I'm the top of the world. What have you done? Where is your Lamborghini? Where is your car? Where is
Right.
your bank account? But a girl can't say that. So that's where the
Say,
but that's
I
where
want you
the
to, I
skill
want
is
you to
not
dig in
balancing.
deeper on that. I want you to say more. So I want you to say like give me some more details. Give me some more specifics
for sure.
about the the male struggle.
Men's since day one in humanity, men's always approach girls, right? Men's always pursued girls. They put themselves out there. They face the fear of rejection. They face the fear of doubts. They face all these insecurities that have built up. But the men still push that through. But for a girl, it's none of that. You just have to look pretty. You just have to look fit, and the man comes into you. But the man is the one who goes there and works every day. He puts in the hours. He's the first one to go to the work and last one to leave. Where are the girls putting that much in?
I think there's some generalization, but
For
I
sure.
think it's much easier for society to directly tell a man what his value is.
Yes.
But try flipping that script. Like, if we're on social media, we've heard like the 666, like he has to make this much. I want a guy to be this tall.
Oh, the man in finance.
Exactly. Have you ever tried, try flipping that
6'5",
script
blue
to
eyes,
tell women?
trust fund.
They will
Finance.
kill you.
Yeah,
They will
try-
literally come in and end you,
Yeah.
try to come in and
Seriously, like,
get you,
lynch you.
fire you from your jobs. They will come in and take everything you have built.
Is
And
that
they
what
will
you say
try
about
to.
cancel culture?
It's part of it. It's part of
But
it.
just think about try to put one metric on women that could prevent them from
That will
being in the
end you.
marketplace. Like
What
we
do
could
you-
say, if a guy's not 6 foot, right? If a guy doesn't make $100,000 a year,
Okay.
if you try to flip that script and put it on women, it doesn't work.
I think the opposite.
it does
seems
work,
to
but
be
they
true.
will.
Wait,
It
wait.
does work, but
Go
they
ahead,
will.
Crystal.
they
Go ahead,
will come
Crystal.
and
I feel
end
like
you.
the opposite seems to be true. I know that for me, I struggle because I am very successful and more type A and around very successful, powerful people. And so when I've tried to date guys that are a little bit, maybe at a senior manager or director level, they have all gotten super intimidated by everything that I have going on in life. And I'm actually a very laid back kind of girl. I don't like to date executives because
Why is that, Crystal? Could you explain?
the egos.
Just,
yeah,
none of
and
it.
the
just for the
egos.
record, we're not going to say any more specific details, but Crystal works with some very, very high level, C-level execs, big, very busy men. Mm-hmm. So we'll just put that out there.
And so in what I do and whom I'm around all the time, I have to be kind of that type A personality to go toe to toe and be able to handle these different personalities and egos.
Yeah, and handle yourself.
And myself.
Right.
And so, you
And
know,
not get walked all over.
yeah. So I find that, you know, when I'm struggling to find the right type of guy for me to date because I feel like, you know, the executives have these gigantic egos and they're super busy with work and not really having time for a relationship. But then when you go a little bit lower and you're looking at senior managers or directors or whatever, then they tend to be very intimidated and not really looking for somebody who is, you know,
Who can hold themselves, who can hold their own in a level of C-levels.
Yes.
In a room of C-level
Yes.
executives. Right, okay.
Yes.
I just read a statistic and it said that in marriages where the female makes at least 40% more in
What's the
income,
increase in divorce?
Well, it's like
Give me the data.
It's mainly this. So I was just going to look at it from this side. If a woman makes 40% more
Yes.
than her male partner,
Yeah.
those men are twice as likely to use erectile dysfunction medication.
Really?
So they feel so emasculated it translates to
I
their
wouldn't
penis.
necessarily say the emasculated, but I think it's a
Performance
subconscious challenge
Okay.
of the gender roles that are normalized. So like men are supposed to feel like we're the providers and the leaders and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. And I think like Dennis said, some men are not okay having like I was married to a former pain and spine physician that made 3 times as much as I did.
Right. Did you care?
No, I don't
Right.
give a shit about that.
Right.
But why would you even care about that?
I just
There are
don't-
guys who do.
There are guys
There are
that
guys
do.
who
A
are
lot of
very
guys.
yeah.
Secure guys.
And I think if you're
Exactly.
not if you're
Yeah.
not secure in yourself and you don't have a good version of like the story you tell yourself,
Yes.
like when other people see it from the outside, are you going to be happy that you're standing next to a woman that you're proud of, or are you going to feel like she's stealing the spotlight from you?
Yes.
That's a you problem.
Right.
And I
It
think
is a you problem. Yeah,
that is
100%.
definitely key in some of those.
Yes.
You
And
know,
identifying the types of people that you want to date.
But
Yes.
you can filter those very quick on a first date.
No, you
No,
cannot.
you can't.
Herbot.
no,
you can't.
I have
You can.
I have
Okay,
a specific
You
example.
don't know
Okay,
that. You don't know how to ask the right question.
Okay, so
Write a book about
I
it.
love,
Give me
I
the
love,
top 10
I know, I
questions.
love.
No,
that
it's not
you're
even a
saying
tough
this.
questions. You just got to be able to read people. That's just emotional intelligence.
Okay, as a man, you can say that.
It's
but
not
you-
even
no,
on a
wait minute.
gender.
Hold on. Men lie.
Yes.
They lie.
Then
to
your lie detector
face.
is weak.
They lie to your face.
Yeah.
And they will
Women's don't lie.
They will. I'm
Womans
not saying
don't
that.
lie.
I'm,
Can I-
listen,
Humans
we're
lie.
speaking from the women's perspective
Yeah.
here. You get to speak from the man's perspective. You get to say that women lie because women have lied to you. But I also get to say that men lie because men have lied to
Women
me.
don't lie. Human beings lie.
Exactly.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I'm saying from my experience, my lived experience is being in relationships with men. So the men that I've dated have either put on a mask, and then eventually that mask is no longer capable of maintaining. So
True.
then they are putting on a false representation
Mm-hmm.
or their representative
Very
of
true.
who they want to
Yeah.
be potentially. And then after a while, they can't keep
Yeah.
it up.
Gets
and they
tiring.
Can't continue
Yeah.
to play the
Yeah.
game.
Can
So
I ask
that
you a
is
question?
also a lie.
Yeah.
Would you guys say that women have a higher level of intuition?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then why
Do we
didn't
ignore it?
But I think that it takes a little while sometimes to figure it out. I had this relationship for about 4 to 5 months where he was, to April's point, putting on a mask, and he was kind of portraying the person that he maybe wanted to be or wanted me to think that he was. And it was long distance, and so we would see each other quite, about twice a month. And it took a little while to kind of figure that out, and then slowly but surely those types of things started falling away, and I was like, whoa.
Can I ask
So
what
I-
happened?
hold on
that
one
started
second, hold
opening
on.
Do a
that up?
background
want-
check on him.
I want to ask,
Run a soft background check.
but I want to ask
She
your
has the app on her
experience.
phone. She's
Maybe
like,
should
what's
have,
your
but
name?
no.
I want to ask Mary's experience.
Got her butt big.
too. I want to ask Mary's experience too because I feel like you are a CEO of a company that has now hit its 5th year in business, and dating someone similar, like dating someone of your stature or your professional success, has got to be a challenge.
I've done both. I still don't know the answer.
What do you mean?
I've dated men that
Yeah.
are way more successful than me,
Yes.
have multiple companies,
Yeah.
have hundreds of employees,
Right.
and I've dated my personal trainer.
How did that go?
It was so fun. Really fun.
Hashtag the sex was
He
great.
was-
Is what she said.
That, yeah,
He was
I was literally.
so
She didn't say that. She
I
didn't say
literally
that.
but then there's just other
Can I ask you a
things.
question?
You may.
For the guys, do you guys ever look at what a woman's stature is? when like evaluating partners.
What is stature? What
do
does
you mean?
stature
Yeah.
mean?
Like
when
literal
you talk
height
about
or
she
place
being
of
a
mind?
CEO and dating somebody of the same like stature, success.
No.
Okay.
Oh, same
No.
level.
Yeah,
I
don't
could
think
care
it ever
less.
come- yeah.
I literally
I
could care
yeah.
less.
What was the question?
If men look at what you do for a living,
Like, am I trying to find somebody
men
on the
have told me
same
that
level
for sure.
or
They
above?
do not care what the woman's career is at all.
At
I
all.
mean, to an extent.
I mean,
Not at all.
But
You
you guys
could
don't
be
value
you could be a
like-
loyal woman. You could be an amazing woman. A woman who wants to dedicate his whole life to her husband, to her kids, and you work at McDonald's. I will wife you up right away. I would
say,
care less.
Okay, this is my one thing I will say. So what I don't like is that men don't necessarily value women who are ambitious and successful.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with
In your-
ambitious.
in your
The reason why I
experience-
don't, in my experience, the reason why I don't love that is that you're able to have like a better connection whenever someone can see you and understand the life that you're living. And I've had men tell me, I just love that I can talk to you about things and you actually understand what I'm saying. And that's not to be offensive towards anyone that doesn't have a more ambitious or lucrative career.
Yeah.
But it allows like there to be, in my experience, a closer connection and a closer bond. And I can better support you if I know what it is that you're going through. And so that's why like I've kind of gone through this whole circle of dating different types of men in all different levels of their career. I personally need someone who's doing at least the same thing I am, if not higher level than me, because I need to feel like they understand like my life, my heart, my passion outside of the home, and then I can support them better.
True.
But men don't have.
I
think men assume.
I've been told that they're like, well, I don't care, like all the things that you're doing. I'm like,
Well, hold on a second. I think it's from a monetary standpoint, but
Yeah.
like with the relationship that I'm in now, when I hear her talk about her career, she works for a major Fortune 50 company. She worked in Q&A. Now she's the head of production. When she talks about how much she cares about her direct reports and like what she puts into the job, I can see her character and her values, and those are the things that I like.
Yeah.
How much money she's making at the end of the day doesn't really matter as much to me.
Do you know why? Do you know why? Do you know why? I don't have access to it. Why would I care? She could be making $5 billion.
Bullshit, you don't have access to
Men's
it.
don't have access. Men's do.
okay,
Why
that's
would
a
that
broad
matter?
generalization. Let's not say that.
Not really. You could have $5 billion in a bank account, a penny dollars in a bank account. Doesn't matter. Men's don't have access to that.
Okay, but
so
that's
why would
not true.
Why not?
that they don't? Why would it's your?
if you
It's
got married and you shared the money, you
it's
wouldn't have
not.
access
This is
to
not
it?
the marriage part though. This is behind. This is we talking about dating.
Oh,
we
we're
didn't
talking
get.
about
We
dating.
didn't get into
Okay,
the
okay,
dating.
okay.
So if I'm dating
So
a
you're
girl,
saying because during the dating period, because you don't have access to her money, you don't necessarily care how much she makes.
because you don't understand it where the
Yeah.
guys come from. Guys come from, okay, I'm looking for a piece. I'm looking for an amazing feminine energy so we could build a team, build this in
You're saying
partnership
peace
together.
like PEACE.
Yeah, peace.
Like calm, like-
Not side piece.
Yeah, not side piece. Not the other side. So that is where men's come from. Men's don't want the boss babe to sit home around like
You
where
don't want, you want a woman who's in her
So-
feminine energy.
Yeah,
not
So
her
that's what I
masculine
was about to
energy.
say
Yeah.
is that men
That's what it
assume
is.
that successful women don't have the time or the capability to
be in
bring
their
that
feminine.
feminine
Some of them
energy.
don't.
when-
Some of them
and
don't.
some of them
But
don't.
not
But there
80%
are
of them don't.
Well,
The feminists don't.
No, wait a minute. Hold on.
There we go.
Some of
There
them.
we go.
Wait, what'd you say?
No, we're not going to do politics. Sorry.
No. Say it.
I said feminists don't. They're the ones that are
Oh,
ruining
okay.
it.
They are the ones that
Yeah.
ruined it for everybody.
Well,
Hey,
it's
hold on.
her.
You're
It's
yelling into
definitely
that
not.
microphone.
The microphone loves me. He's like, talk to me more.
No, I will say. I
Thought
would
of
say
that.
that's a. Mary, you're so funny. Now I'm like.
But that's the side
I
of
was
it. You,
gonna
if
make
you
a
want to
point.
talk about it, you got to talk about it. You cannot leave
I know.
anything
No, I know.
behind.
I know. Trust me, it's my podcast. I understand. I'm just saying, like, I want a man who is going to put me at ease, who
Yeah.
is also going to be my peace, so that I can be in my feminine.
Amen. And
Yes.
that only
That's
comes
true.
in by you being a nice feminine energy.
Well,
But
It's-
also,
it's-
wait. Go ahead.
You have
it's
to
not about
balance
just
each
the,
other.
it's not just about being nice, but one of the quotes that I go back to is like Ryan in The Office. And he's like,
The contract?
I want somebody to lead me, but like
temp.
not all the time, like when I want to be led. That's probably the most difficult thing because I was with a type A, very successful woman in a relationship. At no point in time did she feel comfortable letting go control. Like she would be okay following when she 100% agreed with the plan.
See, I'm the kind of person that I'm that way in my professional life.
Right.
But then when I get home, I want a man to be the man. I don't
Yes.
want to have
Yeah.
to make all the decisions.
That's the best
I don't
way.
want to
Yeah.
have,
Yes.
Right.
you know, I to April's point, I want a man to provide that safety net for me and
100%.
to be in his
100%.
male
100%.
energy
Yeah.
Right.
so that I can be in my female
100%.
energy.
Yes.
A secure, confident man who doesn't want to act like being an alpha man, who's going to do that automatically. He doesn't have to be
Yeah.
like, oh, let me turn
Yes.
on the switch.
What does,
now I got to
what
be
does
the
Whitney
alpha.
always say
It comes
about
so natural.
alphas?
Yeah.
What does Whitney always say about alphas?
What?
The alpha sleeps.
Yeah.
Yes.
It does. But at the same time, there is a point of peace that also, if you are dating somebody who, I will say, if they're making more money, that's fine. But if they're putting you, their lifestyle is putting you in a difficult spot, like
Yeah.
you're trying to keep up with the jump.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, I also want somebody, yes, I will go to a nice dinner. I will pick up the tech. But also, like, on a Sunday, I really do want to go to a bar and have a Coors Light and watch a football game.
Let's go get tacos from
Right,
taco
right.
truck, you know?
But you
Yeah.
have people that, if they are dealing, you know, higher end and whatever, they're more financially stable. You know, I'm not going to Eddie V's every weekend. Like,
Isn't
I'm
that
not
more
going.
like
You
a
know, it's
compatibility thing though.
yeah,
Yeah, that is more
that's a
uncomfortable.
compatibility thing. But that's where I think also
No,
guys
but I
feel.
agree with
He
you,
wants to
though,
go to a bar
because-
right after. He's like, I want to go right
No, but I agree with you because it's like it's a level like in society. You feel as if like, oh, I'm in this tax bracket, so I'm only allowed to, you know, frequent these establishments or
Right.
whatever. Like I'm too good to go to a hole in the wall to have Coors Light
Yeah.
chicken wings.
It's
on
like
Sunday.
Right.
Instagram
Well, you talked about
I
economics.
can't be
with the
seen
pool
at
hall
this
thing.
shitty
Right.
bar. Right.
Yeah, it's like Instagram economics. Certain people get used to like wanting to go to these types of restaurants to be seen, and that's the lifestyle that they want. I need a girl that like, look, I can take you to a steak dinner, but sometimes I just want to have fun going to.
But also,
that's what the good life is. Like, who cares about all, like,
but a
oh,
lot
I've
of
been to
people
this.
do. A lot of people do.
Or why
Both
do you want to
men
be
and
with
women.
them? Why you want to be with them?
I love your honesty.
I mean,
It's
really,
so
why
great.
do you want to be
I
with them?
don't.
I don't.
recently-
Don't you want to spend
Uh-uh.
your time with somebody who's so chill and amazing? You guys just look at each other
We
and
just vibe.
vibe. Why would you
Just
want
on
to
the
be with
same
somebody?
frequency.
Yeah,
Yes.
don't.
Make
Why
eye
you want to be
contact.
somebody that you're gonna put that fake mask on? Oh, I'm so bougie, I do this, but you are not. So, why
here's
would you
what
want
I'll
to be
say.
with that
Here's
person?
what I'll say. Her bod. I'll use
Go
mine.
ahead,
And
April.
and I tell this to Ben all the time. I'm only able to speak from my lived experiences, right? I'm
Of course.
only able to share from the things that I've experienced. So that's why I was saying earlier, some men lie or wear a mask. Some women lie and wear a mask. And I cannot speak to a trifling ass hoe because I'm not one. I am not a girl who is only after money. I am not a girl who is only after status. I am not a girl who cares about what kind of car you drive. I care about what kind of person you are,
Very
who
true.
you are on the inside. I make eye contact when I talk to you because I think that it's important to connect with someone as a human.
Sure.
There have been people, and I won't even say just men, but there have been people, like you said, people lie. There are people who look me in the eye and I trusted them and they betrayed me.
Yes.
Yep.
Right. So it's like, no, I don't want that, but I also want to be able to take you at face value.
Yes.
And like, there have been times where I was, you know, dating someone, seeing someone, friends with someone or whatever, and it took years to dissect what kind of person this was. And I've been through it in dating
Can I ask a question?
and marriage.
Like, it just to pose a
Marriage.
hypothetical here.
Yeah.
And this is something that, you know, I've kind of experienced. Have anybody on the other side of the table, have you ever been in a situation where you were asked out on a date, right? If you looked at the guy, you weren't that excited about going on the date, but where he wanted to take you made you say yes to the date?
no.
No.
But there is a
There's
lot
never-
too.
There was no
There are a lot of
full
girls who do
attraction.
that.
Right.
There are a lot of girls who
But
do
this
that.
is, but
Who
this
are
is also
insecure and
why,
desperate.
right? but
Yes,
this is
so
also why-
which is a good. Yeah, go
right.
ahead.
But this is also why I. This is
I'm
also
going deaf
why
over here.
I invited them.
Yeah.
Because they're very similar to me.
Of course.
So like I am not the girl who. Okay, I'll speak for myself here. Whenever I was dating prior to my second marriage, it's fine. It hurts. It's fine. Everything's fine. When I was dating a lot. But my first dates would always be coffee because it's not a commitment. It's
We
not
love that.
long. It's cheap.
I took you to 60 Vines. What the hell are you talking about?
You took me for.
I tried
First
that.
of all, that was like
60 Vines is a
don't know
good
if I
spot.
that
I
was
like.
2018. That
You
was
don't
when
like
I
that,
first
huh?
started fucking dating.
I
So
want to go
shut
have a glass
up,
of wine and
Benjamin.
have fun.
Take
but
you to a coffee shop.
I wanted to.
I'm so
We go to Starbucks after.
Okay, I tried that and it felt like a business meeting, and I was like, "This isn't it."
It does feel
Okay,
a little
so-
businessy.
The coffee?
I like
Yeah.
to go and relax. And
Yes.
You have
But
to get the
here's-
coffee and then walk around.
Well,
It's the same.
But alcohol,
That's doing something, that's-
alcohol influxes the date a lot too.
That's
Yes.
It's gotta be. You gotta go sober. You gotta go with a great energy.
Right.
Talk about good life.
Right.
And see if
Yeah.
you guys compatible.
Because
That's good.
here's the reason why I said coffee first, and it would typically be like a either around a happy hour time or even like a lunch. I'd be cool with a lunch because I want to see how you are in the middle of the day, or I want to see how you are in the morning. I want to see how you are not with a glass of wine, not relaxed, not in a date mindset. I want to see how you are outside of that, and then if I like that part of you, then we progress to dinner.
Hey,
Then
let me
we-
watch you at the
I like
DMV.
then we do the big, bro. Let me watch your ass in traffic. Let's see.
exactly.
Let me see who you really are.
Can I
But
s-
go ahead.
the third date is
Well, I was
coming.
going to say, like, I mean, just from my perspective, we're talking about like dating. All of you guys are very successful, confident women, right? So I understand it's a unique perspective.
Confident is iffy right now today, but yes, we'll
April, I know you all the other days, so don't worry about it. girl.
Today's just a Saturday.
Okay, I think in the dating
God-given
though,
gift.
if you look at the actual like society as a whole, like you actually look at like the populations, I think most women would be considered like eligible. But like if you really look at like the male half, we're all very lucky. Half of the men in society never get looked at by women.
Oh yeah. I
But
know.
no. But that's another thing because look has nothing to do with who you are. You could be a 5'2", you could even be 4'11" as a guy.
Yes.
But if you build yourself up, you
Yes.
go to the gym, you dress up nice, you get your money up, you could get any girls in the world.
Wait.
because
if you
look,
guys have a good personality, but
yeah, of course,
Still have to
but
have a
that
good
takes
personality.
years. that what I just described takes years and years. 99.9 men would never do that, but the ones that do can own the world.
Okay, hold on a second. So there's a lot that can be said to investing in yourself.
Yes.
But I think the quote that I talked about is like when women talk about characteristics that they look for in a man,
we did talk about this.
Yeah,
yes.
so they want those characteristics in an attractive man. Like it's hey, I
Attraction
wanna-
is not a choice.
But what's
Attraction is
attractive
not
to
a
one
choice.
person is not attractive to somebody else.
What do you mean?
know?
Say more.
I think that there are general
there could
standards.
be physical attributes or even personality type traits that might be attractive to me, whereas they may not be attractive to April.
Attraction is not a choice.
Ooh, I like
Attraction
that.
is not a choice.
It's a chemical
You
reaction.
can't convoy.
It's
We're gonna
totally
need to
chemical.
unpack that one.
It's
It's not a
100%.
choice. Hey, but wait.
It's not a choice.
Okay, but
yeah.
let me ask you a question. It's not a choice.
It's
but
not a
Are you
choice.
reacting to a trauma response or are you reacting to genuine attraction? Because what is
Doesn't matter. That is.
Yes, it does.
You
Yes,
just
it
met
does.
the person.
Yes,
You
it
ju-
does.
Yes,
How
it
would I
does.
know she has trauma or he has trauma? I just met that person.
Spot and attract a narcissist from
Oh, but you
miles away,
couldn't
bro.
tell if they if
It's
you
a
couldn't tell.
God-given gift.
Oh, it's a God's given gift, but you couldn't tell if they put it the face or not.
Wait,
you said
look,
you
look,
said
That's my
you see
trauma.
you see you
That's what I'm
see you see
saying.
that that had flaw in it.
Attraction. So look, attraction is mainly rooted in genetics and what we can read about a partner's face, body, and measurements. So when we look at a human being's face,
Are
generally
you saying
we think-
immediate attraction?
Just wait, immediate.
Okay.
So when we look at somebody's face, we'll go, oh, they're attractive. What our actual subconscious brain is doing is it's looking at like, what's the distance of their eyes? Are they level? What's their mouth look like?
Yeah,
what's their jaw
symmetry.
look like?
Right, yeah, yeah.
And
Right.
our brain is subconsciously taking those pieces of information
Right.
and kind of giving value sets to it. And then we feel a general feeling of
But
attraction.
that's
to that
also for
person.
procreation. Like that's
That's yeah, it has to
biological.
do with
but that's-
replication too.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
That's attraction. Like if a guy's shoulders are broad and his waist is narrow,
Yes.
we're going to be attracted to it. Same thing with like hips
Benjamin,
and
are you
curves.
attracted to men?
No, like
No, but we know that. Like, I mean, I have no problem.
Wait,
like,
are
when
we
it goes.
saying game recognized game here? Is
Yeah,
that-
always,
Oh.
always.
Little,
I have news for you. The
Little-
only people who've ever complimented
You?
my calves and anything I've done in the
Other
gym
dudes.
are other dudes.
Okay, that's a lie. I've complimented your body.
You
multiple times.
have,
Shut
you
the fuck
have,
up.
because you and I have a similar background.
Yeah,
But like,
because we both used to be fat.
right? But like, I always say, like, I heard Dax Shepard say this when he did Chips.
Yeah.
Kristen Bell didn't even acknowledge it, but he said every guy he'd get on a plane, guys.
She
Would,
didn't acknowledge like his.
no, she was like, and he was shredded in that movie.
I know why.
Yeah,
I know
and
why.
and I can tell you this: when I was the best shape I ever
You're
was,
doing triathlons.
no, even after that,
okay.
like when I got into jiu-jitsu, and I was
Yeah.
literally, I
Yeah.
was a 7% body fat.
Yeah.
I had abs for the first time in my life.
Crushing it.
My ex didn't once acknowledge it.
Why?
I think it was now looking back.
What
I think
was
it
it,
was
Dennis?
it was her real insecurities. But that trauma spotting with the attraction, what you said,
Right.
that really hit with me.
It's your trauma.
It's my trauma.
Right.
And that was what caused me to act
Because
out.
when you were
Right.
young,
You fall
what was your example?
was my mom.
And what was your mom? You don't have to say.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
You attract what your example
So
is.
same. So my dad was an emotionally unavailable man.
Absolutely.
So for me, security felt like someone who could fix anything in my home, but would never say positive things about me to my face, right? Or never gave me words of affirmation, or was very weird about affection, all these things. So what do I look for in a partner when I grow up?
But that's
Someone
not necessarily
exactly the same.
attraction. That's how you value certain things. And if you don't understand where that's coming from,
No, that
you'll
is
value-
attraction. Because if I see him,
It's yeah. That's what my
okay,
right.
I'll give you an example.
So
If
there's the
Dennis-
physical piece, and then there's the actual
But
personality
listen,
piece.
so if Dennis were to walk up to me, I'll say this, not even Dennis. If a attractive person was able to walk or was going to walk up to me like at a networking event, the alpha in the room, the type A guy, the super successful salesperson, he's 6'2", he's attractive, whatever, he has a good personality, he has honest eyes, all this shit. Not going to give him the time of day, whereas normal women would. I'm going to go after the fucking repairman.
No, that's
who's
not true.
fixing the
That's not
fucking
true.
elevator.
There is no way that is true.
Hey,
Hold up, let her
There
finish.
is no way that is
okay,
true.
but
You got to let her finish,
Yeah.
or else it's going to sound terrible.
it's like for me, it's like that's not someone who is overly confident, someone who is sure of themselves, someone who's secure. That is not going to attract me. I am going to attract that man who is emotionally unavailable because that was my example.
Hold on a second. And that's what you've done in the past, but that's not a forecast for every relationship. in the
No.
future.
I'm saying that previously.
Yeah.
All of my
Wait, I
previous
have one
track
other-
record.
I still have one
my
other small
programming.
caveat.
That's my programming.
So we talked about physical attraction, right? Arbad talked about a man can build himself up and, do all of those things. I think there's the emotional attraction that you get from actually talking with somebody. The difficulty for a lot of men is unless they have the physical attraction, they're never really going to be in a conversation long enough with a woman or get a chance to go on the date to show their personality.
Oh, okay, wait.
And that's
You're
kind of
saying if the
difficult
woman
piece.
is not physically attracted to them.
Well, I think based on modern dating apps, right? If you
Sure.
look at the results in dating,
yeah, 10%
like,
of men get 90% of women.
it's about
Right.
80%.
Yeah.
So I
80,
think
20.
you can have a great personality, you can have a great story, you can work on yourself. But
Yes.
for the average man, if you're not tall and good looking and attractive, you're never even going
Or
to get
have
the
a good
chance to
job
show
title.
a woman the great personality that you have.
And what I'm saying is has nothing to do how you look. Attraction has nothing to do how you look. Physical attraction doesn't play a big part in attraction.
How are most people connected in modern dating, though?
Abs.
Okay, which
That's-
means
Photo.
physical
Which is
attraction.
picture.
It's all
Yeah.
picture
And that's
related.
why in modern dating, like in the use of apps, if you track data, women only, I think it's like women respond to 16% of their likes. And with men, it's like 70 to 80%.
They respond to that.
You
man?
gotta-
Really?
They'll
In
match.
this-
They'll match with a girl that likes them, but with women, you guys have so many more options.
in
Like,
this
y'all get
world,
bombarded
in this
24/7.
world, if you want to be successful, you can be naive. So if you know you are not doing well on dating apps, you gotta go back there, build yourself up, learn how to approach girls, and you could play your cards different now.
What do you
now
know
you
about? What do you know about that, Herbot? Why don't you tell
maybe
us?
I know a
That's
few
what I was
things.
gonna ask.
What
Maybe
do you
I
know about
few
that?
things.
Tell us.
What is your-
Tell us what you know about that.
Maybe a few things. So if you see dating apps not working for you, that's not end of the world. There are so many things you can control. True, only thing you can control is your height and your face, right? But you could control so many other things. You could control how you dress up. You could control how your hair looks, how you style. You could also control how you talk. Go learn how to communicate. Go learn the math. Go learn.
Sure.
Go learn the master the art of talking to strangers.
But I think, like,
that
if
will
you
take
look
you
at-
so far.
If you look at these three women, how often are you guys going outside of your workout, work, and home? Like, how much time are you spending
much.
out in society?
For me,
Depends to the age too. Depends
Every
to the
day?
age.
Let him respond.
Every day.
What
Well,
did I-
but you own a business, so you're always out, like doing things, going to the grocery store, going to the, wherever, right? You're pretty busy.
Like, where could I randomly run into someone? Is what you're
That's what
saying?
I'm saying. Like, where you could get the
Trader
chance to
Joe's,
actually be.
bro.
I've thought about that actually.
And then talk about the modern world. Like, women have always said, and I think women are having more control of dating outcomes now, but also having worse outcomes. Like, you guys control the marketplace more. I think for a long time, women are always saying, like, don't come to us. Don't come approach us. You know,
Especially
she doesn't
at the
want to talk
gym.
to you in the grocery store.
Yeah, especially
but then
at
when
the gym.
women don't get approached in the gym or in the grocery store, now
they're
they're
like
like,
pissed.
Why not
where
though?
the
What's
fuck-
wrong
yeah.
with it?
Where the fuck are the guys?
What's wrong with it? If you see attractive girl at the
Dennis,
gym,
how many girls do
Nothing,
you
but
talk
it
to?
Why
never
wouldn't you go say
happens.
hi?
It never happens.
None now. I did used to, the gym was always a spot back when I lived in New Jersey. It was always a spot.
To like pick up girls?
Yeah, just because I knew
What's wrong
everybody
with
there.
But wait, what's your approach?
It would just be over time. I was there a lot. You know, it's
You're a familiar face.
yeah, you're a familiar face,
consistent.
and but it's over time. I don't know if I could do it now. Like,
why not?
Why?
I'm in the same boat. Like, I don't know. Like, when you get through the day,
Yeah.
where do you go by yourself? Like,
You
I'm
could
by
go
myself.
So many
Like,
places.
Yeah.
Go walk on Katy
Katy
Trail.
Trail.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
The Katy
I
Trail,
have
the
met
Katy Trail,
so
the Katy
many
Trail.
amazing girls on Katy Trail. Just passing by, go say
Actually,
hi.
Yeah, I've met someone on the Katy Trail
Yeah.
too. That's like famous.
I'll
TikTok.
give everybody that's listening to the podcast the
Who's
best
the
way to
other
start a conversation with a female. Find something that's very
bold
feminine
statement,
and girly.
Cotton.
Just wait. So like, find something very feminine and girly. Like, let's say you're wearing knee-high boots at a bar. Just walk up and be like, I have those exact same boots. I'm so thankful I didn't wear them
I
today.
use that one.
It's so easy.
I have a top that
Like,
looks
oh my
that.
gosh, we are matching.
In any situation.
Sorry.
Any situation.
Sorry.
Top 5 pickup lines. Ready, go.
No, it's just that. I just walk
Do you know what's the best pickup line in the world?
Hi.
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 Yeah.
How's it going? Done.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, so I have a question.
Go ahead.
All three of you have obviously picked up women before.
A lot.
What works?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
What works? What doesn't work?
It's
For
just-
you. For you.
It's just go say hi. I mean, it's like you just meeting them. It's you go say hi, you introduce
You don't
yourself.
go in for the kill immediately and ask them if they want to go home with you?
No, why
Weird.
would you? That's
Third
not the
question.
goal. The goal is the goal. That's not the goal. That's not the
Working our
goal.
way up.
The goal is for you to go out there and find your person.
Okay.
Your goal is for you by saying hi to people.
Okay, but
is to
Herbad, that's not everybody's goal if you're at a bar. That is not every man's
But why are
goal.
you at the bar to look
To
for your
fuck.
person?
They're there to
I
pick up.
don't-
No,
I
you need to read the
personally-
room.
There you go.
You need to read the
There you
room.
go.
Wait, I'm
Yeah.
shutting that shit down. Not everybody in the bar is there to meet their person.
No,
Okay, there's
that's
a
the worst
sexual
place to
marketplace.
meet your person.
There's a sexual marketplace, and sometimes people are just looking for a connection, a physical
Casual
relationship.
Yep.
That can then
You
become
said that very
somebody.
nicely.
Not
They're looking
everybody's
to
out
hook
here.
Up. They're
Not
drinking
everybody.
alcohol.
Not every man.
They want to bang.
Not every man. Not every man. I've
gotta
been
read the
celibate
room.
for a whole year.
Percentage.
Is 1 year I'm in my celibacy. I don't want to do that. I have zero interest. My goal is
A
to
year?
1 year. I'm passing my 1 year. My goal is to find my person. I'm out here.
How old are you?
I'm 29. Yeah. My goal is to find my person, to marry this beautiful girl,
Mm-hmm.
so we could build this empireship together. Come together,
The empireship.
join a team, and go and conquer the world.
Okay.
I'm not there to. I have zero time to waste on that. Where would that take me in life?
But you
that would,
actually have like clarity on what you want out of your life. You have a
Yes.
vision for that.
Of
and
course.
you have very clarity on like what kind of woman you want. And I think
100%.
that's where a lot of men fall short is either they're kind of floating through life in a job they don't love and then they're mad at everybody else.
Yeah.
Or
So
they
then
don't
they
know
just
what
wanna
kind of
meet
woman
someone
they
to-
want.
100%. The
Yeah.
people
But
who
you're
win in
rare
this
that, I
world,
will be
Yes.
honest.
The
Like, a lot of
people-
Well, I think the three of you are rare, just like the three of
the
us.
people
are rare,
who
so.
win in this world, they know what they want to do. They know right away. I know my next 10 years. This year I want to do this. Next year I want to do this.
Of course you have a 10-year plan. Why wouldn't you?
It's.
So you probably are going to find a girl that you're looking for though at a bar because most people.
I don't even go to bar. Do you know why I don't go to bar?
Hold
Do you know
on.
why I don't go to bar and clubs? Do you know why I don't go to? And this is my last one. Do you know why I don't go to bars and
Because your
clubs?
queen is not
No,
there.
no. I have never ever. I have in my. I say this, and I'm gonna take this and post it on my TikTok.
You better.
I have never ever
clip this
met
shit.
anybody. I'm gonna say it again. I have never ever met anybody interesting at a bar or club. I have never met anybody. I have never met anybody.
at a bar in Denver.
I know. No, we did it.
I'm
No, we
kidding.
did it. I was like, wrong guy. I want to re-say it because I want to say
Denver
this.
at the same time.
I want to
Herbot,
say.
Herbot, you are yelling into this microphone, dog. You got like we're doing a podcast.
Okay, go. Ready,
I'm gonna go under the table.
Holy shit!
It's.
We'll hear you.
I have never met anybody interesting at a bar or club that the next day I'm like, damn, that guy was so interesting.
Sure.
That guy is gonna go and
Yeah, that's fair.
conquer this planet Earth. Never met anybody interesting. So why would I go waste my time and energy there?
What were you gonna say?
Go ahead, Mary.
I agree. Like the chances are a lot less likely, but I don't completely agree. I think that you can run into anyone anywhere.
Yeah.
I also think you attract the
Yeah.
energy that you put out. So, like, when
100%,
I'm
you
in,
are
like,
what
a
you
good,
attract.
Like happy, flowy state. Like
That's a
got
good
people
point.
coming at me from all corners. When I'm just kind of like focused and not wanting to talk to anybody, I don't really know
Fun
what
people
approach
go
to be.
dance.
Yeah.
Well, people do anything.
I love to dance.
I think it's reading the room. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's like,
I was
and
gonna
I'll
ask you
talk
about that. Go ahead.
like I think, you know, I've been in bars where I see, you know, two women. I'm big on eye contact. If I'm looking and they're looking, I'll throw a smile and that will engage the conversation. That's
Yeah.
always been something. I think you have to read the room. If two girls are there and they're literally in an in-depth conversation, don't even send a drink. They're there to catch up. Like, you know, if they're there by themselves, they might have had a bad day. Like the hitch thing. You know, your hair's in a bun, you're drinking a martini. You know, it's like, read the fucking room every
Read the
once in a
room.
while. You know, it's
Great
like,
follow-up question for this. Okay, because we're all dating, kind of, right? Whatever. Let's say that we're
D4 say?
out, and I don't care the environment. Bar, restaurant,
Yeah.
gym, kiddie
Whatever.
trail. And we see a guy that we think's attractive. But we do want to be traditional and feminine. So we don't want to follow this Gen Z bullshit where they're like, oh, we're going to DM guys and hit on guys. Because then what happens
I
is
can
you
give you a
attract
good
in
stat
beta.
because I know
Wait,
you're
wait.
going.
So then how would a woman express that she's interested in you while still staying in her feminine?
And also being with other
Hold on a
women.
second.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Okay,
And
Great question.
Both solo.
All right.
Okay, give me 2 examples. Solo, and then if she's in a group of women.
All right,
Yeah,
so
okay.
Match.com did a study and they said that for women that were in social situations that walked up and initiated contact, like they were 86% more likely to be married to that man.
Yeah.
So I think as a
like our
woman,
own
Very
Jamie.
true, very
Wait,
true.
what?
Hold on a
What
second.
is
Shut
the
up.
best?
so
Like, just out of
in
nowhere.
situations where women were willing to walk up and approach a man in a
shut up.
public setting, they were 86% more likely to be married to that man long term.
Don't pee in
You
my
know
bottle.
what? I can see how that being true because most of
And
my long-term
I'll-
relationships were a result of me somehow initiating.
Look, and I'll give you the secret code. If a girl walks up to me at a bar and just goes, "Hey, you're really cute."
Yeah.
First off, one, that's perfect. Secondly, it's gonna put the guy.
That's a home
back-
run.
Every guy.
It's gonna put the guy back on his heels because now he has to say something, and we're not used to doing that. So you're gonna
Okay.
watch us go,
Okay.
and then just stand there and be feminine and pretty, and watch him kind of flubber, and then
Okay, so I have some.
Amazing.
I have some feedback for that because I like a challenge. In 2018 and 2019, I did that multiple times. Like I was at Red River once. I walked up to a guy, asked him to dance with me. I was at a bar on New Year's. That's not funny. Don't laugh. Okay. Thank you.
I was laughing at the Red
It's
River.
not fucking funny. Also
Red
not
River.
funny. But so, and then there was another time, New Year's, I think, I was at a bar with two of my like guy friends and another girlfriend. So there was 2 guys, 2 girls. I legit came back from the bathroom, walked past the guy, and I said, "Hey, I really like your shirt, blah, 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 whatever." He never talked to me. And after that, like he looked
He
at
was
me a
drunk.
few
welcome
times.
to being a guy. It's
He
not
looked-
always gonna work.
Okay, but wait, but that doesn't get to be the reason. That doesn't get to be the definition.
April, just because you think that they're cute doesn't mean that
No, I
they
understand
are
that,
also
but
gonna
I'm saying
think that
like
you're cute.
But you can't say that if the woman initiates, like it's not the same. So you can't say women need to go up to men and talk to them because in the amount of times that I've done that, I have not been successful, and that's been more than most women would do.
Wait until you catch eyes with somebody across a room, like Dennis said. Make eye contact from across the room. You guys are
Stare at
always looking, not stare, but you guys are
Not
always
stare.
looking around. You guys are always looking around to see who thinks cute. If you make eye contact with a guy and look at him for more than half of a second, if that girl then walked up to me and was like, "Hey, you're cute," it would work every single
Yeah.
time.
I love that.
Eye contact,
See,
a
this
smile.
is
What
a
you're saying
part.
about reading the room.
So good.
This is a part about this is a part about being a man. You see, remember you done that one time, and now that's
Not one time, I'm just giving you two
see,
examples.
yeah, that now stuck in your mind. Now welcome being a guy. You got to do that 500,
Okay, but
1,000,
wait, okay,
2,000
but hold
time in
on.
your life,
Oh my
and
God, I know.
most of
So
it doesn't
sad.
even work.
But also, I work
So-
in fucking sales. Do you know how many times I have to make fucking cold calls to get somebody to talk to me?
That's two different
A lot.
things.
A
Those-
lot.
those are two
it's
different
No,
not.
it's not.
Because
No,
you're
it's not.
prospecting.
It's the same.
thing.
The
It's sales.
motivations are different. Motivations are different. That's the
No.
thing.
You're
Motivation.
still trying to succeed, whether it's financially or in a relationship. You're still trying to succeed,
True.
which means you have to have attempts, shots on goal.
True.
And confidence in uncomfortable situations.
Yes, all of it. D, all of the above. So I think it's like I treated dating back in 2018 and 2019 very similar. I went on a lot of dates. I opened my parameters. I was very equal opportunity dater. I didn't necessarily date people based on their appearance. I dated them whether or not they looked interesting to me, like someone that I might like to have a conversation with. But I'm also an open-minded person, and I'm a podcaster, so I enjoy having conversations. I'm also in sales, which means I talk a lot. But like, even doing all of those things, all of those situations, they definitely taught me a lot. But I don't think that broadening my scope or opening my parameters helped.
What? I have no idea where you're going. What do you mean? Like doing
Like-
When you
different
say
things?
parameters, what do you mean?
Yeah, like what the hell are you talking
So,
about?
like, you mentioned that statistically women, 10, 20% of men get 80% of women, whatever. Okay, but I'm saying that, let's say this person didn't exactly check all the boxes, right? You go outside of the scope of a C level, or you go down to a director, senior manager, or manager, or
Different
you
heights,
or
different
even-
ages,
right? Or
different-
even you date someone
Yeah.
who's on the staff level, right? Like, it just depends. Different heights, different ages, different economic backgrounds, different ethnicities, all of it. Opening all of my parameters, like if let's say I made a list,
Okay, I get it. Like, are we talking online dating?
online and in person.
Dating
Okay,
in general.
sounds good. So you open up the
Okay.
parameters.
And
You
also,
threw out your
and I
checklist,
also
is
want
what
to
you're saying.
mention
Like you threw out your checklist.
Yeah,
Like
you
you're
threw
just
out-
open.
Yes, yes.
Correct.
So,
Okay.
with all of that being said, I don't think that even with doing that and opening the scope, did I find like, that person who would like see me,
Because it's a personality thing. You need to find somebody that has
yeah.
like similar
no, I'm just
values
saying,
and
right? But I'm just
characteristics.
saying, like,
Yeah.
you say that women want this 6'5", finance, whatever,
I'm not
money,
saying that
whatever.
that's all women, but I think in modern dating, there is no pheromones, right? So you're not able to like get somebody's aura or their
Oh, you're saying on an
personality.
app, on an
yeah,
app,
on
okay.
apps, you can't. There's no pheromones. You can't see how they are like when they're with their friends. Women's core needs are to find somebody that is one, like a future provider. Right? They don't have to be rich now, but they have to show like resources that they can provide in the future.
Correct.
Usually it means a guy has his shit together.
But that's just a driver for either of us.
Just
any of us.
look. You can fight 100,000
No, that's not
years
true.
of
It's
It's not
genetics.
a
That's not
driver
true.
for
But
me.
just
I want
wait,
a
hold up.
partner.
Right.
Okay, great. But you want to make sure that he can protect you and provide for you in the future.
Yes.
It's not just going to be you going out here doing all the
But
work.
those are
Well,
the
when
men's
you say
jobs,
provider,
though.
I need more details.
That's true.
Look, I'm just saying, if you look at it from
It's
a
not
genetic
financial.
standpoint,
Okay.
It is
Okay.
financial.
No, it's
Genetic standpoint.
providing.
Oh, I
he
think
means
that's
providing
sustainable.
everything. Providing
He's providing
safety,
all your,
security.
your
Okay.
yeah,
Love.
your
I
checklist.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're looking for somebody that can provide and also keep you secure, and at the same time is a connection with you, makes you feel seen and heard. That's like
Yes.
the modern spin, right?
Right.
In modern dating apps, the difficulty is women aren't able to really do that. So they have to simplify that down to things that they can see within 5 to 10 seconds. And normally it's looking at a guy to be like, okay, what's your job? Because your job can kind of tell me, do you have
Right.
your shit together? It can tell me what level that you're at. And then the next thing that you do is you look at his face to see if he's somewhat attractive.
he
And
have
then
good facial
that's like
symmetry?
all you've got to go off of. And maybe you read one or two of the prompts, but it's like men have to simplify who they are into a 10 to 15 second window. I'm slightly funny. I'm not ugly and I have an okay career. So it's like, I did okay on the apps.
You're slightly funny.
I'm pretty fucking
Oh,
funny.
you're saying you're witty in your dating app.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
okay.
I hate the
yeah.
dating apps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's been okay. But at the same time, I think most men aren't that. So then now I think there's a lot of women competing for men that just boil down and look good on a dating app profile.
Okay. That's fair.
That's fair.
The
Do you have
dating
anything to
apps
say to
are.
that?
Sorry, I know that
keep
was a
going.
long piece.
Okay.
going.
All right. Sweet. No. Okay. So that's from our perspective, right? But here's also where the bitches are coming from. Like, what is it that you guys are looking for? Because a lot of men are very vapid and vain. So it's funny that the male,
Shots fired.
the male perspective
I am. I'll say it.
is.
I own that.
But it's funny that the male perspective is, women want this and women want that. You motherfuckers want a young, beautiful, tits up to the chin
That's
type
not
of
true.
woman.
That's
And
not
if
true.
we're not, then you're either like not my type, or she's fat, or you're condescending, or let's say a guy.
like
I have a real
stereotypes of, like,
example
That
of
is-
this.
Okay, please provide. Thank you.
So not to throw anyone under the bus,
Feel free.
but my ex that I was with for 6 years, after 6 months of us breaking up, he moved on to a 25-year-old who now lives in the house that we lived in.
And how many times have we heard that?
How old is he?
41.
Oh wow.
And I was under the impression he was not.
Dennis and I had the same.
And that's not to say there's anything wrong with her. I don't know her at all.
It has nothing
I
to do
just
with
know
her.
myself.
It's
I
not
know,
about her.
But we're very different women. I
Right.
can tell you that much. So I'm very curious too. What are men looking for? Because
Right.
I thought that some of the things that I had was like a non-negotiable, and then I saw that happen, and I was like,
It's clearly not a non-negotiable.
That's interesting. I'm not trying to like talk bad
No.
about anybody, but it was just very
I had the
interesting to me.
That
same
woman
experience.
that your ex went to, she's a broken woman.
Wait, hold a second.
I don't think. Wait a minute.
She's so insecure and broken.
gonna call that
If
one
a
out.
girl who's so confident, a girl,
Wait.
April, I'm gonna murder you.
But that's a genuine thing that I see happening, right? It's
Yeah.
so I'm just curious. And
That's
I'm-
not
there's
normal.
a right or wrong
That's
answer.
not normal.
I will say that, like,
Okay, but wait.
But it happens
Yes,
a lot.
is.
It happens
That's
to
not
me
normal.
too.
Wait,
It
wait,
happens
wait,
a lot.
does
Hold on.
happen.
Well, let's just speak
Wait
from
a
personal
minute.
experience. I would say that I know a lot of men, right, at different levels, and sometimes men just want a sidecar. They just want a girl that they're going to bring along to the dates that's like
Yeah.
literally arm candy, right?
that was
Yeah.
kind of my
And
sometimes.
initial-
The- and-
Sometimes.
yeah, like
assumption.
how high their standard is for the sidecar is not as high as it is if it's somebody that you want to like build a life with and marry, and they might marry the sidecar and be perfectly happy with that. And
Don't
that's
you
perfectly
have
That was
recent
my-
experience
that's
with
the
this,
thing.
Oh
Crystal?
yeah. Oh yeah.
What was your case?
Can I just finish
Yeah,
this
yeah,
story?
sorry,
And
go
I want to hear your thoughts.
No, go.
I was 23 when I chose that man, and I did not.
How old was he when you started dating?
31.
Okay.
And or 32. So I was not developed the way that I am now, and I was still finding myself in my 20s. So I can take full ownership that like there were probably things that were showing up that I did not see.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
You were love
know,
blind.
I don't want to make it sound like
You're not
I-
perfect, but still.
But
that
you see
doesn't
the
negate
pattern for
the
him?
experience.
You see
But
the
then
pattern
afterwards,
for him?
I was
Right.
I was honestly shocked because I was in a completely like different. I had a completely different perspective of him until all of that went down. I was like, whoa! I had no idea like this was.
The
you're
man,
like, what
the
does
man
this
who does
mean?
that, the man who does that, who just goes after a young girl, and the older he gets, he goes for after. He's himself is broken man. That man is not an idol to look up into. That man is a broken
no
man.
man is an idol.
That man, not
very
all true.
healing
That's
for me,
not
thank
true.
you.
That's not true. That man,
She's like, yeah.
that man has
shit
a
on that
hole
guy.
that's empty in his heart. That man is
Naturally.
that man is broken.
We understand that, but
Yeah.
I think the thing is though, because from what I'm hearing from the three of you, is that most of you, if not all of you, are looking to find your life partner.
Of course,
100%.
that's the
So
biggest
how is
blessing
it-
you could do.
How is it that some men can say that, yet they leave you for a 25?
Okay, I heard a quote that talks about
Yeah.
modern dating.
Yeah.
So like, what is it? Women, like men fall in love with the eyes. Women fall in love with the
The
ears.
ears.
So like,
Oh,
women
that's a good
will like kind of lie about how they look, and men will lie about like what we think.
How do we lie about the way we look?
Makeup,
Makeup.
extensions,
I've
filters,
heard
Botox.
some guys
all
be
of
like, I'm
those
so
things.
glad you actually look like your photos. I'm like, that's weird for you to
They
say
tell me
that.
that
but
a lot
I've heard that
too.
now multiple
Yeah,
times.
I've
Yeah.
heard
Oh,
that
I've
so
gotten
many
that a lot.
times.
A few
That
times.
I've gotten
too.
that.
You're not a catfish.
You gotta go take them swimming.
Tell me
first
your.
thing.
Oh my god, her bod. Continue. I want you to tell your story about this.
So my experience with this was I was dating this guy who was 46 years old, and it was getting serious, and we were out to lunch one weekend with my daughter who's 24. And
Wait, how?
You're
like
I'm
35.
49.
There's no way.
Yeah, I'm 49,
sorry.
pushing
so
50.
young and beautiful.
Thank
This
you.
is, this is bizarre to me. There's no way.
Thank you.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
I'm 49.
Okay.
So anyway, we're out to lunch with my 24-year-old daughter, and he tells her that he would never date a younger woman because they wouldn't understand where he's at in life.
Well, they wouldn't. That's
So,
a fact.
so 2 weeks later, I go to Vegas, and he just unceremoniously breaks up with me, like out of the blue. And then a week after that, starts posting pictures with him and a 25-year-old or somebody that's like very obviously my daughter's age,
Right.
And I was just like,
But he had said to you, this is the
No,
thing.
he said it to her daughter.
he said it to my daughter.
Who is that
to your
age?
face.
Who is that age?
Okay.
No,
You know-
he said, no, they were all together.
Yeah.
So is he just confused about what he was looking for?
No, he's
then?
projecting.
he
He's
was-
a liar.
Yeah. You know, and
We
that was
take them
just
at
one
face
example of
value. He's
many.
a piece of
But
shit.
but
Like,
they,
he's a liar, he's
in my
confused. It's one or the other.
experience, you know, a lot of
no, he's
men,
stupid.
a lot of men who want to date me will say things so that they
Thank
get
you.
the opportunity,
Thank you.
and then they are not
Thank you.
that. They are
Thank
not
you.
what the, you know.
But
Out of the
that's-
conversation.
Or
then,
they
you know?
lie.
Like, why
Yeah.
is that?
But that is because, like Ben said, that's what we're doing. But also, it is going to get better. And I can say this because I would be the one who would lie all the time. Not intentionally. You would say the things to get the salesperson in
Get
you.
the what,
Yeah.
Dennis?
Yeah.
To get
Only
the what,
only
Dennis?
insecure
For
men
me-
would lie.
To get the what, Dennis?
It's not even that. It was for the love and attention.
bullshit.
Right.
It is. That's ultimately
Bullshit.
what.
It's also sex.
Yes, I
The
mean, there's,
weakest
come on.
man.
that's a part
There
of it.
are
Yes.
a lot of guys that will tell me stuff
Only a weak
because
man would say
they
that.
want to get me in bed.
Only
Exactly.
a weak man
Basically
would
what
say.
it is.
A
That's
man,
what it boils down to.
a man that only
guy
cares
ever
about
does
sex
that.
is the weakest man in a room.
Yes, we
Yeah,
understand
we
that,
understand
but
that,
that doesn't
but-
mean that it doesn't happen.
It happens
All
all
the
the
time.
time.
But like, this is the part I never understand. Why do you want to be with that? That's the part. It like
Verbod.
if like attracts
No,
like.
you don't.
Why
Like,
do you
I
want to
shut
be
that
with the?
down all the
I don't think
time.
you're comprehending.
Like that right out of the gate.
They fucking lie to your face. And then
I know. I've been
once
that guy
they
before.
build, thank you. And so has Dennis. So actually, we're going to table this for just 1 second until he comes back from the bathroom.
Well,
but
I
I'm going to
think-
explain this, and then I want to hear the dude's perspective.
Well, look, it's just our
They
intentions.
lie to your face. They tell you what you want to hear. They look at your body language. They see when you are comfortable. They hang out with you. They plan multiple dates with you. Then they sleep with you, and they ghost you, and they never sleep. And
Wait,
they never speak
True,
to you
that
again.
does
Can I
happen.
comment on this a little bit? When I was younger, I thought all women wanted the girlfriend experience. So I thought the way to like get like I had a deep, and I talked about this on the mental health podcast. Growing up in my home life, I never really had emotional like support and love. That's what I wanted. I didn't know how to get it because I wasn't mature enough.
You also didn't know how to voice that want.
Yep. And so I thought what I wanted was to feel loved. I thought the only way to do that was to please women. And the easiest way to do that was when it came to sex. So I thought if you wanted a woman to love you, you just had to like make her happy in the bedroom.
You
right?
just have to have sex with her?
No, it's just I didn't know. Getting the emotional security piece and the emotional connection is a lot harder, and you have to be more vulnerable. I wasn't in a mature place to do that. So I thought most of my value was my looks and my attraction. I wanted to if you want to get, intimate with somebody, the only way that I knew how to do that was by treating them like I would like somebody I like. And I treat most women very, very well, but I think that they assumed, okay, this guy wants long-term relationship out of me. When in reality, I want to go on a couple of dates and I wanted to have
Okay,
fun
but
with
wait,
them. But hold on.
Why did they assume that?
Because it's just
Because
how I
of your
treated all
behavior.
women. Exactly. But
Right.
then once I realized women sometimes want sex just as much as men. And as an adult, you realize it's perfectly okay to kind of voice that. Like in how you communicate
but
that
that's
with your actions.
the thing. Like, if
it
that's
takes
what you
emotional
want,
security
then
on my
say
side.
it.
Right.
100%.
You know,
But
put
most
it on the
guys,
table.
Most guys may not have that figured out for themselves yet, and then also be comfortable in stating that. Like, we're not trying to objectify women, but sometimes you just look at somebody and you're like, hey, personality-wise, I don't know if I want to spend the rest of my life with you, but you seem
I would
kind
totally
of fun.
bang you.
Well,
for
it's just,
sure.
It's not just bang, but it's like, hey, I think that we'd be fun if we went out on like a couple of dates, and it's, hey, we go out to dinner, we have a great time, we go dancing, we go back to my place or your place. But it's not like on a Tuesday night, I'm like, oh man, let's sit on the couch and I just want to talk with you for 6 hours. There's kind of different
I
people
think my
that value
issue with that
differently.
is, and I want to hear your perspective on this. My issue with that is similar to what you said before you left. Like, there are people who will tell you everything that you want to hear and behave in said manner, but they're not transparent, or they lie about their intentions, or you tell them because as very I don't want to say type A women, but as very successful in the business world women, we are very clear with our intentions. We do say things like, I am looking for a serious relationship.
Yes.
And the man does not come back and say, I am not. He will entertain the conversation.
Yes.
Then he will sleep with you and then ghost you. Or he will sleep with you.
I have a version
Then
of
he
this
will
that
have
has happened.
post-nut clarity,
Yeah.
and he will say,
I
"Oh,
gotta get the fuck out of here.
just kidding."
Why did you sleep with
I
them
know.
then?
What? So, what do you think about that, Dennis?
I think as I've gone through the last couple months that I'm with Ben, I think that you have to all of it plays in. Like you can go on 6 dates with somebody and then it's not even post nut clarity. You can just have a bad experience. And I've also been with people where it's amazing in the sheets. Like it's amazing.
I think what you missed though when you went to the
Oh,
restroom
sorry.
is that he said that sometimes you see someone and you're instantly attracted to them and you want to go out with them, have fun with them, and sleep with them, but you're not interested in a long-term relationship.
I think you got to figure out where it goes though.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like
But my thing is, my issue, and maybe you guys will agree with me or not. We'll see. My issue is when you're having said conversations. Like I don't like the gray area. Like if you are looking for your person to be in a long term relationship,
Yeah.
let's have the conversation. Like, hey, not really sure if you are that person.
but when does that happen? Are you asking for that very early? Because there's a gray area.
Yeah, right
that-
away.
Like,
Right away.
that's what I'm confused
Right away.
about.
I have so
here's
many
what-
text messages here I could show you. I've literally
About
wrote a
what?
paragraph to the girls
About
that I've
what?
dated. I'm like, okay, this is exactly what I'm looking for with 1, 2, 3. And if you're not looking for this, we should not even go on even a coffee
That's
date.
good. I'm glad that you
It's
do that.
what I'm trying to say is
Do you
not
send that
if
first? Is that like
yeah no after
the
we
fr- the
chat
icebreaker?
I'm like, okay, before we set the dates, this is what I literally have the example I could show to you. This is what I'm looking for, and if she's fully on it, I'm okay, show me now what have you done to actually show me your intention.
So
I think
you
that's
are
that's
you're very upfront with your
and intentional.
I have
yeah.
zero time to waste. A lot of
I
these
understand,
men,
but you're not
You're
like
in the
everyone.
minority. Like
Right,
I would say
thank
that's
you.
like
okay.
less-
So
That's
okay,
very
but
rare.
So I'll ask
like
you.
anyone listening, men, like start being more intentional and direct.
So
in
what-
you
your
have to be
communication.
because you're wasting time.
Is that
There
what you guys
nothing-
want?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Be
we're
very
Why
busy.
would I
intentional.
waste
Yeah.
my time?
So-
all of us are like worried about time,
But
right? Like,
you can't
I
have.
don't fucking
waste
think about
time.
you for days on end and be like, oh my god, does he like me? Does he not like me? Oh my god, I'm in my fucking head. It's anxiety. Oh my god, I'm fucking crazy. Oh my god, he's
You guys don't
I
have
would
a gray
actually show it
area?
to you.
Now.
Here you
Hold
are.
on a second.
Yeah.
Aren't women the better communicators though?
yeah.
But you're a fucking chaser.
Hold on.
I don't
You're
know.
the pursuer.
Hold on,
I'm
hold on.
supposed to
I
wait
said-
for you
so, hey,
to chase
but-
me.
Okay, but women are the good
If I
communicators.
don't, I'm aggressive.
First off, we've already had the women's liberation movement, right? So you guys can come
Here
out
you go.
clear and tell your intentions.
Don't touch anything.
I
That's
have been
right.
Oh,
on
hush.
I've been on dates with women where they've said clearly what it is that they're looking for, and they wanted to make sure that we're on the same page, right? But you're talking
it.
about this gray area. So is that not something that you could lean into and saying, "Hey, I'm feeling a little bit. I'm not getting like clarity on X, Y, or Z."
Okay, I
Mary
can give
Crystal,
a
would you like to
tangible.
clarify what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, let me give it. This is very complicated, and I'm still trying to figure this out for myself because I'm very intentional. I'm in a season of my life where I've got my shit together. I know what I'm looking for. It's very clear to me. I want to have fun. I want to like have that honeymoon season, but I also don't want to like waste my time. I don't have time to waste. I don't want to waste
At
my
all.
time.
Yeah.
Because you guys have biological clocks, which is a very serious
Well,
thing.
that's
Not
part of-
even
that's-
that.
that's
People
part
have
I'm
of it.
past my
self-respect,
biological
dude.
clock.
She's like,
Crystal's like, I am not trying to have any.
No more babies for
If
me.
a lot of women value kids, they're
Yeah.
really, especially the older they get, the less
That's
likely
part
they
of
are
it.
willing to
That
just
is-
fuck around.
I think it depends on
Absolutely
the
part of
season.
That
of
is
life.
not true.
Right. I think
Okay.
it depends on the season of life that you're in, but Mary,
That's
continue.
part of it.
Yes.
But here's what I've experienced recently is, 5 or 6 dates, conversations about what both people are looking for. And then it's like, okay, we're on the same page. We're both looking to date to marry. We want to see if we have fun together first. And we talk about values, life, goals, whatever, family. And then you get to a point where it's like, well, I just want to see where this goes. And that's where it's like,
that's a red flag.
right, and
That's
that's,
a red
where
flag.
I
And
ended
that
a
has happened to
situation.
you
I was
recently,
in for
right.
yeah, I was in for 2 months, and that comment was
And
made.
you really liked that person.
I really did, and it ended up, in my opinion, it sounded like it was a timing issue on his end. But
Right.
why are you then on the dating apps? Why are you taking me out to all these nice dinners? Why are you introducing me to
Why
your
are you
friends?
giving me the
Why are
girlfriend
you-
treatment if you're
Right.
not sure
And then it's
that
like
you're ready for a
backpedaling.
relationship?
So I feel
and
like-
I also understand if you're not ready for a relationship with me, but I also appreciate the honesty. If you are looking for a serious relationship
maybe-
and I'm not that person, I can handle the feedback. It sucks.
Yeah.
It hurts. But the
But at least
ghosting
say it,
and
yeah.
the slow fade or the like whatever the fuck it is that guys
Well,
do because
Only a
they
weak man
did
would do that
I had
again.
a very direct conversation with, and there was
Well, then
no
I guess
ghosting.
every
There are a
motherfucking
lot of
dude
weak
I've
men
ever
out
met
there.
is a
Not
weak
every
man.
man.
There
Not
are
not
men.
not the people that not the mans that I know.
Yeah, But
Can I ask,
don't know.
can I ask one quick question too? Because I have
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I know everybody else's dating history. Herbad, what's the longest relationship you've been in?
4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So long-term
Yeah.
dating. What,
Nice.
what happened in the end?
I didn't know if I want. I was so young and naive. I've dated the most amazing girls in my life. The girls that now I'm looking back, I'm like, damn, they would have been amazing moms. They would have, we
Good
would have
wives.
owned the world
Yeah.
together.
So
but I
what
was
changed
so
in you
young
now?
and naive that I didn't know if I wanted to get married. I was like, I didn't know. Like
But you're
then,
29.
yeah, I was like 26, 25. I didn't know. I was so young. I
Are
didn't
you
even know.
technically Gen Z?
Yeah.
Oh,
basically. So I didn't know. But now I know where I want to go, the path I want to go, and eventually I want to get into politics. And I want my girl to rally with me on the stage. We go
sure.
together city by city, talking about God, talking about politics, talking about relationships,
for
dynamic
press. Oh, wait,
family.
you can't.
That is now I know I want. That's again, it's all on who you are. Who are you as a person?
disagree.
If you are a person who just ghosts people, you're ruining your reputation. You
I
are
agree. Karma's
every
real.
person,
Yes.
every person hears your name, they're like, damn, that guy, he's not a good person.
I get it.
Word goes around. But if you value who you are, if you value God, a person who loves God would never do that. A person who loves God would never play games with you. A person who loves God wants to build with you. It's like these
I
are
think
the
that's
things
a
you gotta look
generalization,
into.
though, and it
Yeah.
also matters the stage in life. From my personal experience, I talked about this with the therapy piece. When I started really valuing myself and investing in the different parts of my life, it created a standard of like how happy I can be on my own.
Yeah.
So now
Yep.
when I'm dating girls, usually before that, I'd be dating girls and like it's Mary, right? So it's like, oh man, Mary's great. She's super fun. But I really didn't invest in all the areas of my life and I didn't set a standard for my happiness. So it was a little bit weird because I didn't know what the long term was because I know that you're awesome and I know I get good feelings from you, but I don't know if I'm getting everything. And it's like there's a little bit of gray area. The more that I invested in my own life,
Yes.
it set such a clear standard. So I'd go on dates with girls and I'm like, look, you are fantastic, but I know that I'm not being pulled away from the stuff that I really love.
Yeah.
So I know you're not for me.
Amen, bro.
Yeah.
And unless
Amen.
you do that work first, guys
Amen.
are sitting there and like,
Yourself. Or
we can
girls.
appreciate you. We
Yeah.
can think that you're great.
Yeah.
But it's like we don't know because we don't have that internal metric on ourselves.
Yeah.
to, like, go off
That's
of.
exactly what I think was going on in this situation I just mentioned. Just so I'm glad that you said that. 'cause
Was
I
he
don't-
recently rebounding too, though, or no?
Yeah.
The person we're discussing.
Yeah.
This is
And
my
I'm not saying-
message. I have a
Hold-
message to say.
Okay, 1 second.
Go ahead.
But I won't say that just because you're rebounding from a relationship, that doesn't mean that you're not necessarily ready for the next one. I think you have to be extremely self-aware and honest with the other person and say, hey, I'm rebounding. I have some fucked up shit that I'm dealing with that doesn't, that will potentially like bleed onto you, or it may or may not. I'm aware, I'm working on it, but I want to express or be candid with you. And I think that maybe he was not aware enough of his own insecurities in that moment.
Yeah. I mean, that's clearly not a
Which is why
conversation that
he
was had.
still wanted to, he could have potentially kept pushing forward with you for those 2 months, even if like at month 1 he knew, or he was getting those feelings like, I don't know if I'm ready for this or
I
whatever.
don't think that. I think sometimes people enter dating thinking that they're ready, and then they meet someone, and then they realize they're not. you
Yeah,
know?
that
Yeah.
happens all
Yeah.
the time.
Or they're not
think
able to
so.
figure it out and they don't have a clear cut standard of what they're looking for. They
Exactly
don't know
what you said.
the
Yeah.
values. And it's difficult because you can go on date. It's like sometimes you guys assume like a criminal intent, like that we're not able to know exactly what
It's
the long
not
term.
criminal, but
Hold
it's
up.
sexual.
Just
And
wait.
for women, it's such a big deal to sleep with someone that it is treated as it's not. So, like, we bond through sex, you don't.
Yeah.
Well, hold on a second. Like,
No, not to the level that we do.
okay, not to
Yeah,
the level,
not
but
to the
what you're
level.
saying is,
I
so
agree
what you're
with
saying is the women then in that situation, and I hate to put it on the ladies, could probably go through a little bit more of an interview process to get a
Well,
clear
I-
understanding
yeah,
of,
better
hey, take me
boundaries.
out of the equation.
Yeah.
Tell me about your perfect partner and exactly everything that you're looking for to know if I'm going to fit into that before I choose long-term mate selection.
Okay, but then I'll give you the example of Sex in the City and Charlotte and the doctor.
A fucking TV show?
Those TV shows ruined it.
Real life.
These
But
TV
this is
shows
real
ruined
life.
it.
She, okay, on paper, Trey McDougal was her person. When they got married, the mask fell. So then she meets Harry. her divorce attorney, who is not the person she thought he was going to be. He's 5'5". He's a Jewish lawyer, not what she was looking for. Everything wrong on paper, but the perfect person for her.
There you go.
So it's like, even if I'm on a date with you and I'm describing my perfect person and you're the exact opposite, that doesn't mean that you're not my person. That just means that what my list said in my head I had written for me was incorrect.
Well, do you think that's on the person, or is that just how it is sometimes?
I think
That's just how it is sometimes.
I think it's on the person, and I think a lot of people just try to, make the metaphorical shoe fit.
100%.
No, because
that.
That only a desperate person would do that.
my second marriage on paper was perfect. If you saw pictures of us, you thought we were happy. And everybody in this room probably saw pictures
yeah,
of
of
us and
course.
assumed that we
Yeah.
were happy. We had 2 kids. We had a beautiful home. We were a very handsome couple. All of the
Very fit, too.
everything on
Yeah.
paper, right? But inside the home, it was a shit show.
Why?
He changed after, and that's like when you talk about the mask and dating somebody's mask, the most difficult thing in human beings is it's difficult to match what somebody's saying with how they actually feel. And that's when women's intuition can come along, because it's like, are their facial structures, is their body language
Blows you up
is
from
like,
the inside.
is how they're acting going along with what they're saying? Or do I get this little weird feeling like, hey, something's up?
Yeah.
That's your subconscious telling you that it does,
It is,
not
yeah.
everything aligns.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I like about the girl I date now.
No, I
She
had
throw
the-
that shit out.
Same thing you did from the outside through a
Exactly.
social media
On
lens.
paper, you looked
On
super
paper, it
happy.
looked happy. Dogs, the house, the
You guys were trying for a baby.
Yeah, having this, but that intuition in your gut, I didn't listen to. I didn't listen to it 7 years
I ignored
earlier.
it all. I ignored
I
it all.
ignore it all because mine's love addiction.
But
It's-
I also didn't. Okay, same.
Man, I feel for you on that.
More
one.
on that.
Mine's, like obviously,
like, truly.
it is like
Yeah.
obviously,
Like, actually.
as you said earlier, like you and I have the same therapist, and the first thing she said, the first conversation we had on the phone was 45 minutes. I was driving back from Waco. We talked, and the next thing she said is, she goes, "You have a love addiction, just like an AA, like an alcoholic. That is your drug. It's inside of you.
What does that mean? What does that look like?
It's looking for that comfort,
Feeling?
that feeling. And it gets tied in. If you Google love addiction, it obviously comes with sex, and it's not. And that's why when you said sex, yes, it leads to that. But for me, it's the getting that love and attention. And I don't know how to, because as I mentioned earlier, my mother was a coach, and I got to see love being given out to other people, and I didn't feel it the same way. And I think she did the best she could. And there was a lot baked in there. So I fell in love with a version of my mother, the old,
Just like me, I married 2 versions
right.
of my dad.
Yeah,
And then what happens is you don't listen to that gut. That's a real thing. Like your intuition, just like if you're walking down an alley as a woman, you listen to your gut and go, I'm not going to walk that way. I'm not
Right.
going to do this. That's the energy you have of the person. I felt that right away, and I just plowed through it because
How?
it was a piece of my ego. It was a piece of the fact that she was a rep in the same industry I was, and other guys were looking at
So
her.
similar,
Similar, but
attract
other
like?
guys I knew were in, and I wanted wanted that, but this is this person. Yeah, but
It
this
increased the
person
sense of
who was
urgency for
gonna
you.
at this sense that she was down here, I was up in the colony the first time, and it was like I saw this life that I wanted to have, and I put that peg in there, and it blossomed. And ultimately, my problems blew that up. That mask came down. I was putting on the mask to make this person happy. And then and now as I go back into it, I am very direct. I go, hey, this is what I did wrong. This is what I've done to fix it. And then sadly, that's when they come hooked on that, it turns me off. Like them.
When you tell them your truth,
I tell them my truth, and they sit there and then women will come more full court press at that point. Like, you're great. It almost now like deters me a little bit in a weird way.
yeah, keep talking.
I don't know. I just think what I've gone through now, it's like when I hear that I'm great, it's almost like a turnoff now.
You don't know how to believe it.
I don't know
or
how
you
to believe it.
truly think that
I
you're
don't
great?
true right.
Wait. I think that's coming from you, though.
It is.
But
Oh no, it
that's
is.
why
Like
we're
it is
asking.
me. It is
That's
me.
why
It's
we're
like
Yeah, you talk
because
about the addiction piece.
Yeah.
I've got some experience with that.
Yeah.
You don't value yourself, so when somebody
Right.
tells you that you're valuable, you think they're lying to you.
exactly. And it's like also it's the imposter syndrome.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like you have that and you're like, well, wait a minute. A year ago, I was, every which way I went was down. You know, it's like nothing was going right. But what you also said earlier, and I didn't want to chime in, but it was like loving myself, like doing the things I've done by myself and being comfortable alone.
Right.
And that is also hard.
Which is something that you've like really tried to instill into me too, like that, like last night, you know, was like super, super hard for me. Like the first night in my own place, and like the cathartic cry, and all of that stuff. Like really feeling that and digging in. Right? Like
I dug in a camper.
Right.
I mean,
You like did a detox.
So when I split up,
I love detox.
when we were trying to split up, I literally rented a camper in someone's backyard in Richardson, and I literally was sitting in a camper, like detoxing, and it was it was a tough 30 days. Like you go from a house to an 18-foot camper, you have to turn the hot water, and it was brutal.
It's
and
kind
it
of
was
hard to lie to yourself in a camper.
You're laying,
like
you're laying on
turn off the TV.
like you're laying on a foam thing, and you're just like, I'm working in a camp, like this is, and I'm in some stranger's backyard.
Here's why I'm asking you to say more about your personal lived experience because, and I'm going to ask you a very blunt question, because you are a love addict. That means that you know exactly what to do to manipulate other people
100%.
into giving you what you want.
Right, and I'm in sales.
Right.
My entire day is manipulating people into believing something,
And also
then,
getting them to buy.
to buy, and then buy me. Because I sell my personality.
Right.
And then I play like we say, I play the dummy, or I play the not secure about it. And it's like, but then
You are not unlike other men.
right. And that's been my go-to. You call it out all the time. You'll call it out in like an Instagram post. You'll be like, you're full of shit.
Right.
Like, you know, it's like,
Fuck
you're
off.
like you literally don't touch me.
I have a question. Sometimes, or not a question, a point. Sometimes we view that as a negative thing, bro. That's probably a skill that you learned to get what you needed out of love.
100%.
So it's like it's a double-edged sword. Now you have to realize, like, what outcome am I trying to achieve?
Yeah.
And the more that you love yourself, the more that you realize you can love that for good. Because look, I understand women are fantastic. Sometimes you guys will hold on to ideas that do not serve you, and you need to use some sales or use some communication tactics to get you guys off of that point and sell you on a different version
But
of
the
the
reason
idea.
but the reason why I'm asking Dennis these questions is because there are love addicts who are not diagnosed,
No.
who will walk around and do the exact same
Right.
things that you have done
Yeah.
to get what they want.
Absolutely.
And think that they're
for
doing the right thing.
It was validating because that's how you got love when you were younger or in different
Right.
situations or whatever. But what I'm saying, the point that I'm trying to drive home here is that there are people like that who are out there trying to get what they need out of other people, and they don't see a person there. They see a body. They see validation. They see.
It's a fix.
They
Hold on a
see,
second.
well,
Are we
sex.
saying that sometimes
It's a dopamine hit.
Are we saying that sometimes people out there use partners to get their own personal validation? Like, of course.
Yeah.
And I think that it can be done. Now, look, but
In
also
more ways
too-
than one.
So then,
Sexual,
okay,
emotional, physical.
Tell me about
like
how many
whatever.
women post on Instagram every single day. And like, don't we think that those two things are also aligned? Mm-hmm. Isn't that not the exact same behavior? Hey, I'm posting, hey, like, look at me. Hey, this is what I'm doing. Hey, it's my friend's birthday, but I'm going to post the photo where I look really, really good. It's the exact same mechanism.
It is, and as a guy who goes for a girl, if I see that your Instagram feeds that is all bikini pictures, all this restaurant, all that, I would not even give you 1 second. I would be like, this is not a girl for me,
Yeah.
You ain't it.
because you know your
It's the same
value.
mechanism.
You know, why would I go
Well, that's
for a girl like
that's
that?
pretty and gets
Okay, but
everything she wants right
wait,
there.
wait.
That's like that.
What is
so
it?
that's
Wait,
that
but
stereotype that you're
using-
talking about earlier, how women have it easy. But that's like an example of women who
How
have
we
it
don't.
easy.
But that woman
But
offers
that's-
nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, then,
So-
Wait. Just because she posts a picture of herself in
It's
a bikini,
all
that means she has
insecurities,
nothing-
all
No, no, no,
deep
no, I-
built.
He's
What we're
talking
saying
about
is
the-
we're
the
using other
Instagram
people's
static,
validation.
the
I
static.
know I'm
Yeah.
being facetious. I'm over exaggerating the point, but I'm just saying like
In your example,
cognizant
it's
of
a
the things
man
that we
using a
say.
very one-on-one relationship to get the validation. It's the exact same mechanism when a woman uses Instagram to get validation from multiple
but
people.
the point that I'm also trying to make is that Dennis will I won't say your name anymore.
You can say me.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, this fucking asshole.
Yeah.
He's not an asshole. He's just self-aware
Yeah,
of his
sure.
behavior and the
Good.
patterns that he exhibits.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
good.
But that's the
So-
trauma breaking. You have to break that trauma.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, but that's what I'm
Cognitive
saying is that
behavioral
like
analysis.
you know exactly what you're doing to get what you need. Other men don't know how to necessarily put that into words, right?
Right.
but they know what they're doing to get what they need.
Right.
Well, they may
so
not
they
even know
use
they're
other
doing it.
people to get what they need. The difference in posting on Instagram is that I'm not using other people to get validation one-on-one, mano-y-mano. I'm
Right.
not texting selfies to someone else and getting them their buy-in so that they like me, so that I am then manipulating them emotionally to get my needs met. I am posting on Instagram for 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 followers. There's a difference.
Okay,
there.
you're right, but then it can also continue. Has anybody on the other side of the table maintained a friendship or a relationship with a guy that they weren't really interested in, but it was very convenient when they needed a
Of
date or a
course,
side
of
piece or
course.
somebody to be their emotional counterpart?
Sorry, all three of you
Yeah.
at this table right now? What did you want?
Well, I'm just saying, I'm using a specific example that I
I see
know
where he's
exists
coming from.
outside of
It's a
this
joke.
room, right?
think
Outside of this
everyone does
room.
that.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
if you're
keeping
not in a
somebody
great
at
space
just enough of
mentally-
a distance
The
so that I
difference
can.
don't anymore. I
is
have
the
before,
sex.
absolutely.
The difference is the sex. That's the difference.
So you're saying if I'm having sex with this person and I'm using them for validation, then
Yes.
that's crossing the line.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Because we
think that
view
you can
sex
utilize
differently
people.
than men view sex.
But you
Not
can
not
utilize
true. At
people.
beginning,
in
yes.
some instances, I'll say for the three of us.
The more partners you have, you lose that value even less and less.
Oh, get the fuck
Yeah.
out of here, Herbot.
I mean,
What is
really.
this, 1954?
No, literally,
Shut
your brain
There are
doesn't
some-
produces those dopamine hits anymore.
Because a man can fuck 1,000 women, but if a woman fucks 1,000 men, she's a whore. You
I
don't
did-
get to say
Look,
that.
Ask
it's the
God, why did he
mountaintop.
create it that way?
It's the
Ask
mountaintop.
God.
I told you.
Ask God.
April and I were talking about this analogy once, and I think the easiest way that I kind of broke it down is that women are used to being, attracted and bombarded from all sides, right?
Yeah.
And you guys are a mountain peak, and you decide who gets to summit the mountain, right? Men are mountain climbers. So if a guy climbs 50 mountains, hey man, he's obviously got some skills. There's obviously some value there. If you have like 200 people at the top of the mountain, it's probably not that difficult to peak, to
Yeah.
reach the summit.
Yes.
And I think that
But I
there's
thought
an
you said
inherent
women like
value.
to just have sex sometimes.
Yeah, they do.
So then we're easy mountains if we
Look,
want to have
But
sex.
the
hold on-
man-
hold
but
on
the
a sec.
man's
Hey,
not
hold
gonna
on, hold on,
value
hold on a
that.
sec. What I'm saying is
What did I walk in on?
we're having to deal with how
You're welcome, Dennis.
society is then going to value that person based on the
No,
decisions
it's not
that they make.
society, it's men. How men are going to value a woman if they think that she is promiscuous.
They're not gonna
Do
value
women
that woman.
devalue other women for being promiscuous sexually?
We're not talking about how
Oh.
women. Shut up. We're not talking about how women view women. We're talking about how men view women.
But
You
it
made
is
a very
true though.
clear
You can't
statement. I
fight
was
the
just saying if
biology.
it's from both sides. Like, would
No,
you-
you're talking about how we perceive other women. I'm talking about how men perceive women and how women perceive
But
men.
do you want the truth
Sure.
though, or you wanna act like there is not?
I'm not saying that it's not the truth. I'm just it seems like a double standard. That's all I'm saying.
it is a
not-
double standard.
It is a double
Right.
standard.
150%.
I will say that energetically, and having casual sex for women, for a lot of women, not all, but a lot of women, it energetically shifts you because we are so much more emotionally tied to sex.
Yes, we are.
So then it influences our energy, our mood, everything. And a lot of times, like if you're having a lot of casual sex, like your light like dims and you kind of
Of course
like,
it
start
does.
to, you kind of shrink down. And so I do think that there's an argument to be made that like men can go and have casual sex and they don't think anything of it, maybe. But women, it does like genetically have like a deeper impact on our
It also
spirit.
does affect the mans too. The mans who go sleep around it's
It's an addiction.
It is. The mans who go sleep around they have this void in their mind and their spirit. They're so empty inside.
They're trying to fill it.
Yeah, the man who is also promiscuous is a very weak man. There's not both sides. It's not about gender. A person who involves in activities like that, it's broken. That's not a man to build with. Really,
like
though.
90 even
It's
doesn't
really though. A man who is promiscuous has no value.
Dennis, how do you feel about that, Dennis?
Real talk.
I mean, it does. I mean, it devalues us. It does. Like when I think
Both sides.
both sides. It
But-
does. Like there's, it is what it is. I've always felt that, and I'm going to sound a little chivalrous, I guess. Like I think that's I understand that point for a woman. For some reason, I feel like there's that intimacy. It's, I get that
we
part.
have something
It's
called,
vulnerable.
but we have something called oxytocin that is released when we have an orgasm.
Both partners do.
We do too.
but not to the same level. When you
It's
have
called pair
but
bonding is
wait.
what you're talking about.
So when women, there was a phrase that I heard the other day that was really, really good. When women have an orgasm, it brings life into us. When men have an orgasm, it drains
Right.
the life from you. So like, and not in in an energetic way. So like when you release and when you emit, like you like.
We watched the same video. We watched the same
It
clip.
wasn't a video or what? I don't know. Was it?
I think
He
we
sent
watched
it to you, probably.
Yeah, and then what happens is when we release, it's almost like a reset for us.
Exactly.
Our 100,000 years of genetics is then we
Yes.
go, okay. When they say post nut clarity, that's that's the new term for that.
But we feel bonded.
you feel bonded because we
Yeah.
gave you the most intimate thing we can give you.
Yeah.
That's the most
Yes.
outside of having a child, providing a child for you.
Yeah.
We have now given you something that
But even if you don't give that to me, think about instances where you have not given that to that person.
oh yeah, I can tell you that.
Right.
We've
but I'm
talked
saying-
about it.
but,
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like when women have an orgasm, whether
Right.
whether you do that thing to them or inside of them.
But it's not
we
just
still
from-
feel that. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Everyone interrupting. Hold on. We still feel that. So like
Right.
whether you and I really that really resonated with me because it's very true. Like whenever we have an orgasm, it is like I can go on 27 dates with a dude and never sleep with him and never feel that. I have sex with him one time and it's like
But I think that's
bonded for life.
You have to view
That's
it
a good
outside of the
point.
context of just sex. What is sex meant to do? To
Yeah.
reproduce.
Of course.
Okay. If you're going to reproduce with a man and raise a child with him and have a baby, do you want that man around long term?
Yeah.
Perfect. So he can like help
Well,
provide for
now
your baby.
we
and
do.
Hold on. Just genetics, right? 100,000 years of human history. If you're like having
but
sex
if
and
you're-
reproducing, you want him to be around long term. So you're going to value a long term relationship with that man. So what your body's doing in those instances is it's giving you more reasons to look at that man and want to keep him around long term. It's like a,
I don't know that I agree.
okay, but I think in guys, it's not as necessary if we have sex with a woman to then have that same value system.
Yeah, you don't. Because
Exactly.
you guys can have lots of kids with multiple people.
Exactly. So
Right.
I think, but you can't just look
Just
at it
like
from
the
context
lion.
of,
There's
like,
one lion
having
in
sex
the
one time.
herd, and all the women lions are sleeping with the man lion. Like,
Yeah. So
right.
we get different things. We get different things from sex.
Yes.
100%.
Thank you for summarizing my entire point in 30 seconds.
You have to do that.
Well, I'm just saying, like that, but it takes a lengthy explanation sometimes because I don't want it to be misconstrued as if it's like personal. It's not personal. It's women.
Yeah.
Like,
Pair bonding
I
is
think that's-
the dating term they use for it.
Yeah.
we're in agreement that both sides get different things from sex, but I think that's where women, like, I've had to take ownership of this because I didn't see it this way for the longest time. Like, we have to have more boundaries around sex and not be so loose and casual with it if we know, like, how much it influences and impacts, like, us. That makes sense.
Yes.
They
There
also
is
looked
so
at
much more
this-
into life than sex. Sex is nothing. There is so much. Literally, there is so much. There is so much.
it is absolutely not nothing.
There is so much into life dance. That is literally
Listen,
like
it
not
is-
even 5% or
It
10%.
is not the most important thing, but it is important.
It is important as
It
much
is
as other
very
things are
important.
important, but it's not everything.
It's important.
So I think in the relationship that I'm in now, one of my favorite things about it is we're very sex positive, and I think my partner, she gets a lot of value from that, and she was very clear and upfront, like, hey, this makes me feel loved. This is what I want out of the relationship too. And so it's like to be in a situation where we can have the deep emotional connection, which is important for me, but also at the same time connect like that so well and so often. Dog, like I'm already, I mean, I don't want to,
Dog.
hopefully she doesn't watch this. I'm already starting to see this, like to realize that I have somebody that I get along well. For the first time in my life, I feel like I connect with her better than I did Chloe, the girl that I dated for 7 years.
That's a
I have
blessing.
more love for her than I do the girl that I married and divorced previously. Like, the sex is an important.
long have you guys
piece
been
of that.
dating?
Well, I have a
4
question about
months.
that.
Wow.
Do you love yourself more than you ever have before in your life?
Yes,
Yeah.
and done a lot of work as well on myself.
It's
and
not for nothing.
checking myself.
Amen,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
Amen.
So basically, we're at an impasse still after 2 hours of talking.
I think we're all in
We've
agreement
come to
now,
zero
actually.
resolution.
No, I think there's some things that we definitely agreed on.
Yeah.
It's just like end of the day, you are what you attract.
Exactly.
It's end of the day, you are what you attract. You could bring
Bottom
500 more people here, share their opinions. End of the day, in life you get what you put in. The energy
I like
you
that
put
for
into
Bob.
this
That's pretty
world
good.
is what you get out.
Pretty good for a 29-year-old friend.
I mean, it really is. It really is. It's like you could make it very simple or you could make it very complicated. But I want to say this message
Oh,
to
he's been holding on to this
whoever is listening to, especially the mans that are listening to this podcast. Take few years off of dating. Delete the dating apps. Don't go on it. Go hit the gym. Fall in love with God. Go read books. Increase your knowledge. And then, because think
Go
about
to
it.
therapy.
Yeah, maybe. It's
Yes.
go
Do
to
brain
therapy.
spotting.
Go to therapy.
trauma.
Do
Think
brain
about
spotting.
it. Think about it. This amazing version of
Address
this.
your trauma.
Think about it as a guy. So let me ask you this: if you do think you can get this most amazing version of a girl that you think you could have it right now, and if the answer is no, go work on yourself.
Yeah.
Go build yourself up. Go be this man that came true from pressure, from
man
working
amongst
hard.
men.
I
Yes,
think the
go
easiest
be
way to figure out-
stoic.
Man.
Go be
Close
that
man
man.
applies
Go
to
be
women,
that
too.
man. Yeah.
This also ties in with like addiction. The easiest way to figure out why you do something is to stop doing it. So like when it comes to dating,
That's a really good point. Ben.
Say
You
that
know about
again. Say that again.
the easiest way to figure out why you do something is to stop doing
Oh,
it.
that's a good one. I'm gonna start saying that.
So like literally cut it off, spend some time with
Been
yourself,
gender
go
Be
detox in a
alone.
Go,
trailer.
yeah, go
Yep.
build yourself up. Go be stoic. Go
I would
be
also
stoic.
say too.
Stoic.
I would also say too. Like I'm gonna say therapy is really really good for this. If you're having not great outcomes in dating, sometimes it's with partner selection. But I think in a relationship, each partner is 100% responsible of the dynamic of the relationship. So there's stuff that you can look at it yourself to understand, like, why am I valuing certain things certain ways? What am I putting out there? What am I doing? And I think the more that you look at that, surprise, surprise, the more time I spent focusing on all of those sides for me, when I finally met somebody that had everything I was looking for from the first date, it was like,
Immediate.
we weren't showing off for each other.
No.
We were both
No
comfortable.
You're authentic. You're genuine.
Yeah,
Honest.
and so I had to go through a fuck ton of hardship to get there, but I think, like, you know, Dennis said, detox, no internet and no TV.
No
for 30
porn
days.
either. No porn. Porn is a
Yeah.
killer.
Porn is terrible.
Porn is a
Take away
killer
the
of
instant
ambition.
dopamine hits, and you're going to find out a lot about yourself. And I
Yeah.
think
That's
that
a
person in
huge
relationship.
It is. But 99.9
thing
would
for me.
never do that. 99.9% mans would even 99.9999 would never do
Wait,
that.
can I ask a question?
Wait, would never do what?
Would never take the years off, go build yourself up, go hit the gym,
That's
get
true.
off of
Should
I
porn.
say
Would
30?
never do that.
Abstain. They wouldn't abstain.
But
That's what
that
you're saying.
one out of that million does that man's gonna go change the world.
Yeah, where are those?
I have a
There
question.
you go.
So
kidding.
he kind of left off like a message. I kind of gave a message to any of the females. Have like
No, wait. I want
send-offs? Or Dennis, too.
Dennis, you go.
No,
Then the ladies go.
what Ben said, that, you know, what both of them said is that, you know, detoxing and getting away from it. That's been my biggest thing, was reestablishing myself.
Getting away from what?
Looking for validation.
Yeah.
Really loving myself. Like Mary said, like it's the best I've ever felt. You know, just went to Spain by myself. I've done so much stuff by myself this year,
You've
and
been
I've
traveling.
Yeah,
you've
I've
been
yeah,
living.
Bro, good job.
and I've put
You got a
myself
new
in a
job.
right. I've put myself in a better situation, and it's just I'm not now looking for a person to fill that cup.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking to have somebody share that cup with me,
So
which is the
how
bigger thing.
Yeah.
Are the things that you've achieved recently helping you with your self-image?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like I joke with you about the high calorie. Yeah,
deflection
the
is-
deflection
right,
thing.
yeah.
But like, yes,
Also self-deprecation.
right.
Yes.
Well, that I mean,
I'm a total piece of shit.
right.
Got it.
Yeah. I mean, also like
It's
let's be
not our
serious.
fault. We'll fund it.
Yeah,
Degrading.
it's degrade, but it's also like that's also what I surround myself with
At work.
at work.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's the positive. Like it's the shit I listen to.
In reality, you are working on your self-esteem,
right.
your self-image.
I carry
your
I can
self-love.
carry myself. I know exactly what I'm doing. I totally get it. I've
Well,
seen
but
it.
I want to make it clear for people who are listening because some of the things that you've said have seemed as if you are lacking, but you're not lacking. You're just
No.
joking. This is humor.
They're jokes, comedy.
It's just jokes.
Somebody told me
Jokes.
somebody told me something once. Most people, I think, like we were talking earlier, like if you're a love addiction, you're looking for somebody to fill you up. And somebody that I don't even really agree with did say a line that I had to agree with. Relationships are about filling up your own cup, and anything left over, you can pour into somebody that deserves it. And like, if you're coming from that place, when they start putting out bad energy or not responding well, you're like, hey, you know what, April, I wish you the best.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think you're making sure and taking care of yourself that you've got what you need, and you can also take care of somebody else. And it's hard
Took
to
me a
even
long time
realize
to
that
learn
you're in a
that, though. I'm
deficit.
almost 37.
Hey, it doesn't
Like
matter. You got
20
the rest
years.
of your life to use that
Yeah.
valuable knowledge for.
I know. I'm
You're
just
st-
saying.
it's-
I'm saying for the people who are listening, who may either might be my age and or maybe they're trying to understand why they're feeling the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also think about this too: dating and eventually getting married is a very big ask. It's not a simple
Really?
thing.
No, that's
it's
just
a big
easy.
ask.
Clear
You're gonna
wild.
potentially spend the
I've
rest
only
of
done
your
it
life.
twice.
You're probably gonna spend the rest of your life with this person. So it's probably
Completely
gonna take a
devastated
while for you
myself.
to find that person.
Crystal, do you have any nuggets that you would like to leave?
Go ahead.
For the listeners.
I think, to your point, you're talking about your age. For me, it took until my early 40s to really figure out who I am
Yeah.
and what I want. And it took failed relationships and learning how to be okay with those failures, but more importantly, learning from those failures and, finding out what
And
you
listening
want.
to Adele in the shower and crying and breaking down.
Lana Del Rey.
78 times. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so you.
good, I'm not the only one who
I
does
think
that.
my point is that that people figure these kind of things out at different ages. No matter where you're at, it's okay.
Do you have advice for your younger self?
Yes,
What would it be?
believe in yourself and learn how to love yourself.
Amen.
I'm a strong, confident woman now, but when I was in my early, in my 20s,
I look at pictures of
especially,
myself and I'm just like, that poor girl.
I was insecure. I was unsure of where I was going in life.
Doing
I
whatever
had-
so and so wanted to do.
Yeah. So, give yourself the space to accept that for yourself and to bring it in and, understand
Give yourself
who you
the
are.
space and the room. Take up some space. Mary?
I think you need to get your relationship with yourself and your relationship with God right before you want to enter into the lifelong relationship you're looking for. And I think that there's going to be seasons of dating where maybe you don't want anything serious, but whenever you're ready to be serious, I think it's really important you take that time. And I learned that the hard way through my own trial and error,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with having trial and error in relationships.
at
That's how
all.
we learn.
No.
But I will say that if I had the opportunity to look at myself again, especially like when I look at if I look at pictures of myself when I was younger, like I wish I could go back and tell her, like, the things that you like are not bad. The things that you're interested in are not bad. Like, there's nothing wrong with the things that you like or the person that you are or taking up space or saying your thoughts or whatever. But it took me a really long time to get here. And like for younger girls, when I see young women who are very sure of themselves, and I'm saying young because my daughter's 10, like 10-year-olds who feel secure in themselves, I'm like, God, I wish.
People
I
will like
understand
you
that.
for
I get
like,
triggered all the time by that.
people
Oh, yeah.
will like you for the commonality, but people will love you for your uniqueness.
Exactly.
And I think that was the thing is I was always trying to fit other people's molds of
Yes,
like
always.
what I thought was
never
attractive
works
or
out
cool
Or what they
whatnot.
liked or whatever.
But the more that I leaned into who I am, like in my uniqueness, right?
Yes.
There's only one of me.
Yes.
I think the more that you lean into that, you start putting out energy. And when people are able to see that, good God, will you attract the right people?
Because
I
that's the
actually love you
ultimate
for you.
confidence.
I agree.
That's the
Yeah.
ultimate
That's where you
confidence.
feel your best and you shine
Of
your
course,
best.
of course. That's
Shine the
ultimate.
brightest.
Yeah.
So good.
Well, thank you, every single one of you,
Oh, wow.
for making this happen on a Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. Love all of
9
you.
a.m.
And I would love to do it again.
For sure.
Sure.
Especially for the listeners. I
Thanks
think
for
this
having
is
us.
going to be a very popular episode. Yeah, I get a lot of really good feedback from dating episodes, so it's just, taxing on my personal self. I'm just kidding. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you found value in this episode. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comment box. Send me an email at biggirlpantspod@gmail.com. And yeah, thank you.
Bye.